And we're live.
Hey everybody, how is it going? I hope that your week finds you well as you join us today for Dungeons and Dragons post-apocalyptic wasteland. We are back, although I've not been caught up as to what happened last week with those one shots. As mentioned yesterday, we recapped for once we did, so it's all new to me. Looking forward to that one. So we're back with the main crew. Those criminals and thievers, the wasteland wanderers that they are.
They're saying we're muted. Let me double check.
Oh
So, all
no!
right. I believe it's us now. You should be able to hear us now.
Oh my goodness, can you guys hear me now?
The level should not be low. I think you are just hearing Jim in your mind's eye.
Oh, goodness.
They should be able to hear you now.
All right, we're good now. Excuse me. So, anyway, I was revealing that I've still remained unspoiled as to last week's one shots, the events of it. So I'll save that for later. But before we get into it, let's have a word from our players. See how you guys are doing. Grant, how are you?
Oh, I'm like a rough stone rolling, getting smoother every day. I'm doing great. I hit my weight loss goals for the year, and I am ready to put all the pounds back on. No, I'm excited to be here for the Land Between Two Rivers. And all I'll have to say is TK wrote the tenets of the Gildanites, and those are in the notes.
I've seen that much. And I was quite impressed. Yeah.
that was the episode.
That's just their branch of the Gildanites. That's just their denomination.
A fractious and quarrelsome lot, the Gildanites. Excellent. Lindy, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing super spiffy. If you see me doing weird blinky stuff today, it's because I have contacts in for the first time post eye appointment. So nothing's wrong. I'm just like, this is so weird. I can kind of see without glasses, and I'm just adjusting. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into Mer, try to find, try to help Icky out. I'm doing Icky's quest and having some mom bonding time, and it's great. I'm looking forward to more.
Excellent. Yes, the mom squad is on it, looking for wayward brothers. Speaking of, TK, how are you?
I'm here. I'm ready. Mom squad. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm really sleepy, but it's gonna be fine.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm trying not to drink so much caffeine. So.
Feel you. I think I'm like one day out from getting sick, so I'm.
That's the best.
Yeah, I feel you. It's that you can see it on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it.
And your breath is like really hot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
No, I know what's up.
All right, so we will power on. Anna, how are you doing this week?
Doing good. No fire breathing, unlike you guys. I'm not that cool. But yeah, doing great. I'm glad to be back and not sick anymore. Thank God.
There you go.
That's it.
All right, I spaced out for a second because I got distracted by one of the many things in front of me. But excellent. Glad you're not sick. Josh, same question. How are you, man? How's it going?
Hi.
It is. Good risk.
I'm frisky.
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be my mood tonight. Yeah, frisky.
Frisky.
Yeah.
How's that translate in D&D terms?
Yeah. My character's lawful neutral, so this is going to be a rough night.
Okay.
It's going to be great, though. We're going to have a good time, and I'm looking forward to finding out what the fallout is from our fun time 2 weeks ago.
Everything will be fine until it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of how it goes. And you guys travel fast enough that you can outrun most of the consequences of your actions.
That's the key to life.
Fair. That's all I ask, really.
So we are sponsored by Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out for all your dice and game accessory needs. They've constantly got new stuff. We are going to be rolling all sorts of new arrays of colors and bejeweled dice polyhedrons this evening. So check them out and use our code WebGame15 for a little discount. And yeah. All right. If I recall, the last time we were able to play, the party had just moseyed into a little sleepy little town called Lodestone, where a sort of shamanistic figure had set himself up as the prophet for a group of wastelanders who worshipped monsters. These in particular had scarred themselves in very draconic fashion. They had attempted to sort of like insert bones or bits of stone underneath their skin to give them horns and ridges and the appearance of scales. And they had a little market there where the party was doing some information gathering, and one thing led to another. And Gildan smote the false prophet, the speaker of all truths. And in the stunned moments after smiting down this false prophet, was able to make it out of the town with the body of the speaker by virtue of a stone skin spell, if I recall. And the party
Medusa's
fled Lodestone. Right. The party fled Lodestone with barbarian outriders hot on their heels. Gildan evading them in the Badlands north of the village, and the rest of the party on the air skiff heading towards where Icky believed that Rix had gone some weeks earlier when he is disappeared under the mysterious circumstances. So that's where we will pick up. There's some sort of dangling stuff from the last couple of games that we'll get to, but I think how's that?
Participles?
Yes, I'm sure that there's been all the kinds of that business, all sorts of grammatical errors. But we'll start like the next day, right? It's been a day since Lodestone, as the party. I think when we last saw you, everyone but Gildan was on the air skiff, and it didn't appear as though that you were being followed or anything. And you're in the sort of rocky desert that is immediately west of Lodestone, traveling at a pace that will allow you to track and just like scouring the desert for any sign of where Rix had gone. Do you understand that correctly? Anybody doing anything different than that? All right. And then Gildan is making his way back down and will arrive in his own fashion, as is his wont. So I think we'll kind of abstract some of this into basically sort of like survival checks. And in this case, I'm going to treat this in a similar way to like a death save, in that there's a certain number of, you want to get 3 successes before failures. And then really it's up to you to kind of tell me how you go about looking for Rix, what resources you bring to your disposal, that kind of thing. So give me an idea of how y'all search for him and what resources you might use.
Since I wasn't here that day, how did Rix look like again?
I mean, he was Gila Monster-esque, if I recall, bigger than Icky. But I don't remember if he had any specific markings or anything. I don't think so. He's just like
He probably just has more scars or something, but not really.
He's clearly led like a life of a bandit, scarred up and weathered.
Runs in the family.
But also just like a big lizard, that's what he's like.
Okay.
He's a big old boy.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Would I kind of know the way that they slither or walk or crawl?
I mean, you're familiar with how the various ways that Icky gets about, and it seems like some lizard folks seem to be able to swim rather well. There's a lot of them that live along the banks of the rivers that are around here. They're really adept swimmers, and others of them that seem more adapted to the desert. So yeah, you recognize like what kind of tracks he would have, what kind of tracks he would leave, footprint, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
You're trained in survival, right? You're proficient in survival. Forget.
Me, no.
I'm
Okay.
half proficient in everything.
Not proficient in everything. I'm sure you've picked up some stuff from Icky.
Yeah.
just in
We
terms of-
spent 90 days in the desert together. I'm sure she'd be able to see, like, if Rix burrows like Icky does, which I assume he does, she'd probably be able to recognize something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the little mounds that are left behind,
Mhm.
disturbances in the dirt. Yeah.
Little lizards.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can I search for some sort of like slither or paw print?
Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you, in this case, it'll be your choice between investigation, perception, or survival. And it's really just how you approach it, at which one of those you use. Like, are you really getting down and investigating things? Are you more like searching the land and seeing like, oh, maybe he could have gone this way? That'll determine which one of those you'll use. And that's the same for anyone who wants to actively engage in like
Yeah.
looking at tracks. from it.
Mer's helping look. She's she'll inspire Icky as well for Icky searching.
Okay.
But she'd like drive the skiff a bit forward so they can search an area, and then you don't see anything, hop back on, keep going a little bit forwards, keeping an eye out for those landmarks and things that we saw when we scried on him.
Mhm.
And so, but she's going to do more of like looking for little things, drops of blood, potentially other sorts of stuff. So Mer's definitely being more investigative in her search.
Okay. I had forgotten that y'all had scryed on him using
Yeah.
the crystal ball.
Yep.
Okay.
When we scryed on him, did it look like he had been there a while, or did it look like he dragged himself there?
It looked like he looked like he dragged himself there, but he
He looks real bad.
Couldn't have
Yeah.
gone far.
yeah, he couldn't
Yeah.
have gone far, and just from like the time from how long it would have taken
Mhm.
Molly to walk. down,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's been
thinking.
a while.
Is
It's
like
been
he's got to get there
a
and
while.
back in like probably an hour, or else he's gonna be gone too long.
Mhm.
Mhm.
As earliest it could be is like 11 days. That's like or not like the earliest, but like the soonest it could have been, or most recent, I guess.
Mhm.
Say.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got Ellie sort of off the skiff looking for clues in the landscape to potentially lead you to them. And Mer kind of directing things and moving the skiff about. How about Nenizen?
I mean, denizens spend a lot of time on their own. They're not proficient in survival. I forgot about that. But anyway, Zenny. No, I'm not calling him Zenny. I think they would probably just help out with looking for tracks, things like that.
Is anyone keeping an eye out, like keep like on the lookout for anything? I mean, maybe Croythoic's doing that. He's probably just is used to by now just being a general bodyguard for Mer, and most of the time is just like keep watching her back and making sure. Like I said last time, he's really come to like, yeah, he's really come to like buddy up to Mer, and sort of sees her as a I don't know, not like a friend, but it's weird. He still doesn't know what to do with any of this, and he's still
Welcome for not being a stone statue forever.
clearly. I think probably one of those nights you should just tell me what you want. Stop trying to take away. So he's on watch. Nenizen, you're kind of helping as well. So it sounds like everybody but Mer and Axtream are on the skiff, or off the skiff rather.
Yeah, Mer would get off to investigate when they stop. She'd drive a bit, stop, search around if it's a likely area. So she'd be searching as well to help Icky.
All right. Well, then whoever's taking point in all of this can go ahead and make me roll. And
it will probably be Icky, since Icky both scryed and is has both perception and survival. So
you're inspired.
Yeah,
what's your bardic inspiration dice?
At this point I think it's a D. I don't think it's a D10 yet, so it's a D8.
Doesn't matter. I got a 19, so
that's
plus
a D10.
6 is a 24.
It is a D10.
But you know what? I will roll a D10 just for funsies. So a 24 plus 10.
34. Nice.
There is a
I know what my brother smells like.
The first one is you're traveling and you're seeing you see a big landmark in the distance, right? Tall rocky spire that whenever you scryed on Rick's was at a similar position but just sort of mirrored. And it's with that you find the trail that you think that the three of them, Ego, Stanker, and Rix, traveled through to get to sort of this part of the desert. It takes you the better part of a day to find most of this. You guys are scouring this entire landscape. It's just four of you. But close to late evening, right around sundown is when you find this path that you're pretty sure. Little footprint here, just a smell to the place that lets you know it. You guys press on and attempt to continue to look at night, or you? Okay. So if anybody's changing anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume you're doing the same thing, and we can go ahead and make another roll.
Yeah, I'll just turn my lantern on.
Okay.
I think I'll go. I'll help with watch. Since I think that's probably a better use of my.
I will inspire Icky again.
Yeah, but Kroithak doesn't really have a way to see in the dark quite yet.
Not yet.
He has light. He can create his own light, but he doesn't do it out here in the desert.
Yeah.
And the moon will come out, and it's fairly bright. So Ninizen moves to being on watch. Ellie, you're still down on the ground assisting. All right. Then let's have Icky make me another roll.
Yeah. And Mer inspired me again. So 21 plus, that is a D8. Here's my D10. 21 plus. So 25.
This one is, you're more sure of yourself, I suppose. And the signs of some kind of struggle or something, disturbances in the dust that haven't been, erased by the wind, and just a general sense or a feel. And it's at after about an hour or so of searching that you find an old blood stain in a clearing. This looks like a rocky defile, perhaps an old creek bed that's since dried up, and on one of the stones is where you find it.
Can I tell how old this blood stain is?
That's going to be a separate survival check for that, but just looking at it, it's at least a week old.
Okay, so killed somewhere else and then, or stabbed at least somewhere else and then here. Okay, he at least came over here, so he might not be that far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else getting out, or are you going to? You're going to search the area further? Are you moving on?
Mer will look a little bit to see if she can find a trail of blood or any other.
Yeah, Ellie's definitely helping with that.
Okay. Somebody just crashed behind me. If you all spread out and begin looking, you don't even need to roll. Eventually, you will. You find like a trail that leads off. There's the larger blood stain, and then not very far from that is a smaller one, and then and then leads to a drop in the gully, like a sheer cliff that goes maybe, I don't know, no more than 20 or so feet, but it's pretty I don't know, jagged down at the bottom of it.
Okay.
And that is where the blood streak goes off to, is this little drop off.
Blood streak.
Ellie's gonna find a way to get down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tie a rope up
Yeah.
here and just
Yeah.
propel down.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll immediately just kind of like eye it first, maybe throw a little pebble if there's one around
Mhm.
to kind of calculate, make sure.
I mean, you're pretty sure you could climb down this thing easily, but it is dark and it's getting, I don't know, the shadows make everything just a little bit difficult to see here.
Yeah.
It's mostly that this place just has a feel of like you're being watched now. You've spent like some time out of the skiff and are just in and around here. You just have a
Well,
sensation
could be Rick's watching us. So let's.
as well.
Icky, can I borrow your lantern? I can't see in the dark.
Yeah, Icky will tie her hooded lantern around Ellie's belt.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ellie will like continue carefully going down.
Yeah,
pretty
I'll go
sure I
down
have-
with her.
Ooh, lanterns. So let me just
I
double
probably
check.
I have torches that I never use because I have torches.
There's like a drift globe that someone had. That's
Oh,
like
I have a drift globe.
You have a drift globe.
I
There
you
have
go.
the one with the
Oh,
drift globe.
You should
I
activate
have the
Useful.
floating. Yeah, I have the floating
the
skull.
elf skull.
I remember that now.
Well, that's
Okay,
right.
yeah.
It's super cool, floaty, glowy elf skull.
Yeah.
Activate
So
that.
I will. It casts light at will, so
Mhm.
that's fine.
Yes, that is correct. All right.
Yeah. So I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
Or let it float around me then.
Okay. And is Ellie proficient in athletics?
Yes.
Okay, so between that and the rope, you don't even need to roll to climb down. It's just like a quick shimmy. If you're not proficient, I am going to require a roll because it is kind of rocks are loose in the light.
I'm half proficient.
That would be fine.
+9.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But if you guys take your time, you have help. There's no need to roll. It's just a kind of a dangerous little drop. When you get down there, there's more blood on the rocks, but there's no trail that leads off anywhere else. It looks as though it ends here, but there's no body.
Rix, should you scry him again? It's all that there's a trail that ends and no body.
If you want to, you can scry him again.
Can I stealth?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, me
So
too.
Ellie's gonna take out a dagger and then she's gonna try to disappear in the shadows. Oh, that I don't know what that was. Okay.
That was just her forgetting to close the lantern.
So it's a 19.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Mur's gonna kind of see Ellie slink into the shadows, be like, "That's a good idea," and shadow
Alright.
up as well. That is a 29.
Oh yeah. All right. So
Iggy's gonna hang out on top of the ridge where they drop down from and just be like, I wonder what happened to my
where'd they go?
child.
How about,
What is happening?
Just poofed.
If someone's staying up top, I think they're going to drop down there with them.
Bukorthwik's staying up top.
Mhm.
He's guarding the skiff and the.
Imagine we just tied the rope to the skiff, so we can kind of
Basically.
trail along the side.
Oh, I'm concerned. But yes, I will agree with this.
Okay.
That's going to be
Yeah, the blood trail seemingly ends here, and there's no sign of anything. If you sit down and use the crystal ball, which you can, that might give you a
I'm
bit
gonna
more.
ritually cast detect magic.
Okay.
Just to see if I don't know,
Alright.
visible or something.
Okay. That takes about the same amount of time.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes, so yeah,
it
we'll
does
be
cast.
see.
Right. Anyone? So while Mur and Icky are using their magic, what's are y'all just staying there, hanging out, or
Shadow.
waiting on something?
The shadow stealthers.
Stealthers and,
Ellie's gonna kind of look around, go from like one pointy rock. There were pointy rocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
To like the other one and kind of like scope out the area. Maybe look for some clues to see if there's like any footprints. I guess footprints more than clues.
Okay.
Investigate.
And, for Netizen, go ahead and make me an investigate roll for that then. And Netizen?
I think Denizen is going to cast, going to psychically cast comprehend languages in case he hears something he needs to understand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to stay towards the front, focused on scouting.
Just a second, I'm making a quick note. So you're focused, you're like taking point, sort of like keeping an eye out down here, whereas Action was upstairs, keeping an eye out. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So for 10 minutes, it takes to both activate the crystal ball and ritual magic. But the only magic that Mer detects is the stuff that's on you, but all the spells and things like that. The crystal ball reveals Rick's being in the same location as when you last saw him, although this time at night. You can see sort of some of the rock spires that you were using as landmarks in the distance yourself, but they're kind of like backlit against the sky, and the limitations of your dark vision make it a little difficult to kind of see exactly where you are in relation to Rick's. But you think it's nearby just simply because of the similarity of the terrain to where you're at and what the crystal ball reveals.
Spread out and look.
Yeah.
Okay, quick question. This might be seem weird. I probably know she's scrying down there, right? Do I know that, Mer?
I
thought you were using
magic.
crystal
Yeah, we
ball.
thought you were using crystal ball.
Oh,
I thought
LOL.
because
Yes,
you got
I
the connection
totally knew
there.
that.
Yeah.
Because anyone can use it.
I was 100% doing that. So, does this crystal ball show light sources?
It shows anything. Yeah, it would show anything that's in the vicinity of the magical sensor that it summons.
How far down below me are they?
They're only like 20 feet.
Okay, if I send my drift globe like drifting around there, will it show up on the scry?
Probably, yeah. I mean, if it gets anywhere near where the scrying sensor can see it,
the
it'll
light.
show it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I can kind of use it as like a radar.
Yeah. So like move it around the landscape while you like look in the scry, or you're looking.
Yeah, but I would just be using light. I wouldn't be. And then if I find it, maybe I'll do like daylight so that they can see it too.
Gotcha.
And Mer will even follow like along and help spread out and look for it because she's not worried about getting spooked by anything. She's Dimension Door. And
I was just wondering if that's like too much magic item nonsense at one time.
First off, I don't believe in such a thing.
Okay. But like, I was like, man, what if I did this? Yeah. So yeah, Icky will use the drift globe as like a radar and kind of try to like ping it on the crystal.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're just gonna keep scrying. Mer's gonna be on foot, kind of looking around as well, just spreading out.
Who's gonna be escorting the drift globe then? Because it has to be within some. You still need to be like within somebody's.
It's gotta be within
60 feet of somebody.
Yeah.
So you need like a forward observer.
Yeah.
Mer will do it.
Mer, you'll do it?
Yeah, because I can strategically position it as well so that I stay in a shadow real sneaky like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ellie could just kind of watch her back.
Because I'm super sneaky.
Right. So like while Mer's sort of sneaking about in the shadows created by the drift globe, Ellie and Nenizen are just kind of walking behind. I was actually going to say it's this moment then that Ellie sort of stumbles across what you think is an old mound of some kind. You recognize it from from the ones that Icky leaves behind when she burrows.
Psst. And then I just like point at it, like try to be as quiet as possible.
Does it look like it leads in a specific direction?
It's yeah, I mean it's part of the trail if you'd like to pick it back up. Following it could be difficult depending on how deep down Rick's went, but that's what the survival check is for. If you've got it. If not, you keep doing, you can keep the drift globe scry strategy up as well.
I'll give it a go. Why
Are we
not?
all rolling for survival?
If you'd like, multiples, yeah.
Only once or 3 times?
Just the once.
Okay, I got a 16.
Okay.
I actually didn't do awful. Thanks, half proficiency. I got a 17.
All right. So in that case, between the this trail that sort of is left behind and you're able to follow it enough to kind of get a general direction of where to go, it's not too much longer, another 10 or so minutes, when you spot the shadows from the light source in the scry, or in the crystal ball, not the scry, the scrying pan. And you think, that you begin to see your drift globe come into view.
Then I probably can't make it like pulse or anything, but I will make it hover like just right there so that Mer can see it.
Okay.
That way she can follow it easier.
Search for Ricks.
Nice.
I will also I know it's just like a flat wall, so I'll try to like get as close to the edge as possible to just kind of like, where's this old dowsing rod?
You don't want to take the rope.
No, I'm okay where I am. Thank you. I'm having a great time.
All right. Yeah, in that case, the drift globe leads you to like a rock shelf that this dry gully has sort of turned into, and it appears as though there's a lot of like large boulders and rocks and things like that. And do you guys search through them? Are you spreading out? How do you search the area?
Look for what Icky described, where Ricks would be, because to look behind the boulders, around the boulders, look for blood. Yeah.
So you're basically going straight for it. You're not trying to like look for anything else before you go. I guess that's what I was asking. Do you do anything else before you go straight to where Rick's?
Mer's not. She's confident. She's sneaky enough that nothing else is going to see her, so she doesn't need to look at anything else.
Gotcha.
At this point,
I think Ellie would be kind of a little cautious about it. So she would kind of, like, if we're going this way, she would kind of like look around, kind of like zigzag a little bit, like make her way towards that area.
Okay. So you take seeing if there's anything off to the side or something like that.
Yeah, like check the perimeter.
Gotcha. And then how about Netizen? What are they doing?
I think I'm gonna keep taking point, like try to be visible.
Okay.
I'm gonna emerge, and try to be kind of a focal point in case somebody else needs a distraction.
Okay. So as I understand it, currently the only one who's visible is Netizen, as both Ellie and Mur were stealthing through the shadows created by the rocks. Ellie, you're sort of searching the perimeter. You think you don't see anyone, but you still get that feeling of just sort of being watched, or like something just right on the corner of your vision. Same for Netizen, but Mur, I think maybe you're a bit more focused.
yeah.
Because Rick's is right there where the scrying sensor revealed, and if Vicky is still watching in the crystal ball, you might see Mur come into view if you can beat a 29. Although eventually Mur will have to come out of hiding where Rick's is.
I think the scrying only specifically focuses on Rick's, but I don't know if it reveals people that are.
It won't reveal anyone. It won't reveal anyone stealth-wise, but it would show whoever was in his vicinity, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Jim, I'm going to. I've got a racial feature, void stare.
Goodness. Oh yes, you do.
I'm going to attempt the void stare, and I'm going to temporarily peer through 1 foot of solid objects and take a look around, see if I see anything.
All right. Yes. Netizen does see something. There's a yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to what he sees in just a second because I want to. Mur was making her way towards Rix. So Rix is posted up on the rock. As you saw him last, it doesn't look like he's moved at all.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you'll have to break cover to get to him. But he's just sort of there, and otherwise it doesn't look like he's moving, but it's dark, all that business. So what does Mur do?
Does he look like he's still breathing?
Ooh, that's gonna require a perception check.
Sure.
And it is dark. Or well, if you still have the light source out, then you won't have a disadvantage.
15.
Yeah, he seems to be breathing slow, shallow breaths, sort of like.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, you cut out.
Was that?
You cut out earlier. Where exactly is he?
He's underneath a rock shelf, tucked in some like large rocks, and is kind of propped up next to one of them.
Okay.
And as sort of Mur sees this, Netizen, you do see that underneath you, in parts, you see what look to be like bones or something in the that run along the creek bed here. Sort of like jagged
old bones, or
yeah, they look old. Yeah.
Okay.
Mur will approach quietly where Rix is at, kind of saying, "Oh, good, he's still alive." And cast Cure Wounds on him.
He kind of like
seen me before, so he shouldn't be too freaked out.
Yeah, you see it's more like his nostrils flare at you and sort of like attempting to sniff you out before he really opens his eyes. And when he does, it's quite weak. He's got, like I said, many very nasty wounds, as though they were probably poisoned or the wounds because they're festered and many have gone like gangrenous. You're able to like keep him alive with the cure wounds, but he has injuries that are beyond the magic of that spell.
Okay, so I'll give him a D to hit points plus my spellcasting. Okay, that's pretty good. That is 9 HP.
Nice.
First level cure wounds, just to kind of stabilize him.
Right.
Like he's not gonna keel over on me and get him back to Iggy.
Yeah. He can walk with assistance, and like I said, it looks as though one of the wounds pierced his lung or something, and his breathing is very labored. It's one of the ones that is that was poisoned, and so it's gone sour.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of the worst of all of them. He's able to stand up, but doesn't seem strong enough to really talk much.
Okay. Yeah. Like, don't worry. Save it for talking to Icky. I don't want to hear it. And then I'll be like, Ellie, Ninizen. He is not great for walking. But how far away from the skiff are we?
Further than a dimension door would.
Further than a dimension door.
You guys
okay.
walked for a while. Yeah.
I'm going to be like, let's just get within about 400 feet of the skiff, and then I will quicken his transportation there. That way he does not have to walk as far. So she kind of like put herself under one arm.
Yeah, Ellie would take the other one.
Start walking back.
All right, I'm making a quick note. I've been.
Do we have any reason to believe that that these two bandits that attacked him,
Stanker and Ego,
are still about?
That was not the way that Molly Mock No Relation had related. He he basically was like they came back, within a day of them going out. They weren't out very long. just a couple hours, and came back. It was basically like, we're no longer following Rick's. We're going up to this city. And about half the crew followed them. The rest seemed to not want any part of that.
Okay.
So yeah, whether they're still about in the area is, you don't know.
Mhm.
But the impression that Molly had was that they were headed
That city that
Mhm.
Middleton wants to go to. Yeah.
Tingreth's Paradise, City of Ghouls.
So yeah,
Okay.
start walking him back.
Mhm.
Now that he's not dying on us.
Right. Okay.
Hopefully.
Are you isn't worried about something? Are you suspecting trouble?
He's had a rough life. So yeah, he's expecting trouble.
Okay.
Or they're expecting trouble.
Oh yeah, they're suspecting trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So, might even have their blade out, which I don't
Okay.
know if they've taken their sword out yet.
I don't think so.
Whatever.
Not yet. Okay. You get within dimension door distance.
Yeah, 400
in
feet,
your-
500 feet. Yeah.
Mhm. And even though this sort of like feeling, once you got down in here, down in this gully, never really left you, that feeling of being watched, observed, nothing happens. You never really see anything. You always think you might, but you never see
Mhm.
anything.
Is it similar to that feeling when I was touching the bones of that like presence kind of thing?
Of a kind. That
Okay.
one was of an order of magnitude more like,
Okay,
presence.
gotcha. I just know we were in this like vicinity, so I wanted to see if it was the same kind of feeling. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'll as soon as we're within 500 feet, I'm like, see you two at the skiff, and she'll just dimension door him there, so he didn't have to walk any further.
Mhm, mhm.
Icky, I brought you a present.
I don't want this. Yeah, Icky will just look at him. You're not dead.
Mm-mm. He's like, one of his eyes like swollen shut, and he's like, mm-mm.
And then she just like gets back on the skiff. Good talk.
He seems satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And is really just sort of in a daze. If the skiff is presented as an option, he will take it.
Mhm.
But otherwise, he's got several bad injuries, and is ready to go to sleep some more.
Yeah.
Now that he actually feels a little better.
Icky will get on the skiff and be like, you either ride or you walk.
I'm just you're gonna drop me off at the next place. That's fine.
Okay.
I don't think you'll want to be dropped off at the next place, but we will see. I was thinking hell encampment.
Yeah, Icky's like, I don't care where we drop you. You're not dead, so we'll be fine.
Yeah, he
Like Drow Town or hell encampment. I don't
Right.
want to be in either of those.
Ooh. Drowtown sounds more unpleasant for him, so Icky's
I don't know,
like,
maybe they're corrupting a celestial. Not the other place though. I don't know.
So are you guys making camp, or are y'all gonna continue on through the night? The night's still early.
Yeah.
So if you want to make camp, you could, but if not, you can still get some traveling in. Your choice.
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe that Bekoisik's been driving during the day and Mer's been driving at night. So
Yeah.
Mer will just
That's all I go.
drive. Yeah.
All right.
Never stops.
No, it never stops. And so he'll take his rest then. And you guys then are headed in which direction?
I will take a short rest though, just
Okay.
before we leave. Yeah.
All right. So everybody sort of like takes a quick rest as Rix is brought on board and made moderately comfortable, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
Sure. Not for
She
Nikki.
doesn't want him to
it's a
kill.
grown ass lizard.
He's really big. And yeah.
Make sure he's in an out of the way spot on
He's
the
a big boy.
Yeah. But all of his stuff's been taken. He's just got like a part of his harness that he wore and like none of his like claw sharpener things or anything like that. So
What was the point?
Right. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, got I didn't see those. These sub gifts that we got earlier. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. I don't know. I'm trying to minimize distractions, so I haven't had chat open or anything. But we appreciate it. You guys then travel on into the night, headed towards somewhere to the north. I think there was still, it seemed like, at least the last time we talked about it, some of y'all wanted to go straight to the city, and then some others were sort of like at least wanting to check in on the devils.
Well, it would depend on what this little thing that's been with us for a while has to say, because he basically just said, "Hey."
Right.
By me, it says, "Hey."
He did. He's like that. Yeah. We will have a bit of a brief flashback to it. But I wanted to see where Gildan was and what he's been up to for the last sort of like day and a half-ish.
He's been pursuing the skiff, and it's interesting to note as he and old Bonebag are running, they've made some makeshift sunglasses, and Gildan's taught them how to smoke, so they both have little cigarettes dangling from their mouths. I love the idea of a smoking skeleton zombie priest, just dangling cigarette, and we're just mush, my minion, and yes.
It's like
So we've
Terminator 2.
Yes.
That's right, Pruitt and chat. We are the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from God.
In that case,
We're trying to get the band back together.
Right. I mean, if Gildan's using all of his spells at his disposal to get back, you will find the skiff eventually. You just kind of know that they don't really stop. They don't like make camp, and
nor does my undead.
Yeah, it's very true. And so you're really more like you more see like Gildan coming this way as you guys across the landscape as he's running with his speaker of all truths.
Once I'm bouncing on my Moby off. Ha!
He's in a little baby Bjorn thing.
Yes, just dangling front.
We need to get him one of those like monkey backpacks.
I think really what you need is a leash to keep me on. Yeah, a little leash to keep Gildan.
I'm so mad.
Like C-3PO, the speaker of all truths, is like, over here, over here.
Like more like, that's it. Zombie moans at you. I'm assuming you stop. I don't know.
There's still time.
Yeah, we'd stop.
He can never catch us. Please. I don't say that, but Icky thinks it like super hard.
Gildan's an
And in fact,
old-fashioned
Icky might say it in
predator.
Infernal. So I'm sure if Ninizen still has comprehend languages. It's like, Mer, please.
Mer, please. Well, the skiff does go much faster than an undead does. And we don't have to stop either. But we did. He was able to gain on us when we were stopping to look.
You
for
will
things.
eventually.
Yeah, when we hit a destination.
Right.
if he gets close enough, I guess I will stop.
We had a deal. You were taking me to the city of ghouls.
And then you murdered.
I imagine Ellie like looks up over their shoulder like, oh look, there's Gildan. We should stop him. It's like,
Let they who have not murdered cast the first stone.
define murder. Like, really, I just let the desert murder for me.
Yeah.
Well, I
Is
didn't
that
commit
Gildan with a
murder.
new friend?
It is.
Oh,
What do you
you
know?
not. Oh, Ellie, you see, yes, you spotted
It
him.
is him.
Or maybe it's just somebody that looks like him. I don't know.
It could be.
It could just be a look-alike that we have no idea who it is.
She like squints harder, like that's gonna help, but totally doesn't help.
Speaker of all truth with a cigarette
hide the
dangling is just
spyglass.
walking up.
I'll get a little deeper in. I guess if you want to stop Ellie, I will slow this gift down.
I'm kidding. We were always going to get you, but
Yeah. There's like a good like 15 minutes where it's just like, yeah, we know he's there, but
Right. Yeah. You do this whole thing where it's like, oh, you make him stop and then speed up and
Why would you do that to me?
Yeah.
it's like when you see people you're like don't really want to hang out with at the mall, so you drive around the parking lot pretending like you're looking for a parking space.
uh-huh.
I know exactly what you mean.
More Gildan.
Right. Once reunited, you are able to speed across the landscape. Now, with both Rix and the speaker, you're not traveling as fast as you would otherwise. Normally, you can tell, right? Like Mur can tell that it's fast, but it's not as fast. And the speaker does. Well, have you cast Gentle Repose on it?
Well, we did cast Gentle Repose on the body, but then we simply made we turned him undead. He's he's dead at this point.
Sure.
Whole bone bag.
But I mean, like, is it putrefying? Like, is it a gross, like, wet zombie, or is it like preserved?
No, he's preserved, and he's mostly bone. He's mostly skeleton.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Because we like the sound of his ribs when we,
you play them like a calliope.
Yeah. I'm gonna teach him how to play the accordion. A skeleton.
Oh God.
Smoking with an accordion.
Jug band. Here soon enough.
Wait till I get going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna set him right next to Axe Streamer too. Just.
What's the name of your band?
What's the name of Gildan's?
The Holy Rollers? What is it?
No.
You'll think of something. I believe in you.
Yes.
Yeah. You'll pull something out. In that case, you guys are able to speed across the landscape at night. You do catch the occasional fire on the horizon. Sometimes it's a village, sometimes it's an encampment, but these are in different places than you're used to, or of greater intensity than you're used to. You could definitely make it. There is an encampment halfway between Lodestone and Jando's Rock that you could definitely make tonight, probably before dawn, or you could keep going and you'd arrive at Jando's Rock sometime the next day if you want.
I'm muted. Yeah. Might be good just to pause at the encampment to see if they got anything that like herbs that Rix could trade for to get himself feeling better or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. At the very least, he's willing to leave. Okay, so you come across the encampment. Then this is in the early morning hours, right? Like just a very sliver of sunlight is on the horizon as you reach the encampment. Where am I? Oh, where is that?
I need my beauty to sleep before we reach Jando's Rock.
Yes, and it's more of a communal sanctuary and way stop, a lot like the one that's close to Baloo's dugout, much further south. This one, though, as you approach it, there is just a host of makeshift tents and lean-tos, people crowded around small fires and like with hand carts or large like, I don't know what you call them, like stretchers laden with their goods. And you can tell that the encampment here is sort of laden with refugees. And you actually can't even really see a way to get to where the encampment itself would be. Usually they're tucked away in a cave or something like that. At this point, only a few people are up. Some are on watch, and you're able to get pretty close without anyone really noticing that you're there until you're kind of right there.
Okay.
Are y'all? You guys can stop for a little bit, stay for a while. It's up to you.
I'll just throw him another cure wounds if we're dropping him off here.
I should kick him out of the back.
There's 10 more healing points. Have fun. feel better.
All right.
You said you wish to be dropped off here. I just think you would enjoy this place better than the literal hell encampment we are going to.
Yes, much better.
Okay. There you go.
He's fine to be just dropped off, and
Icky doesn't say anything, but she'll share a look with him, and
he gives you a nod that he understands the position he's in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She actually, you know what? I said she doesn't say anything, but she will look at him and she will say, "The debt remains."
And he gives a sort of a pussy-eyed kind of like,
I will find him.
Very good. I will be here.
Now you're gonna double owe me, brother.
I know.
He looks kind of sour about it, but also like glad he's not dead.
Mer looks real happy about it. Like,
You're gonna double owe me.
feel better.
You're gonna owe me till you die.
A couple of people come out to help him, but he's in, Rix is in rough shape. He's lost an eye, has several internal injuries.
You're gonna wish I'd killed you. That's for sure.
And otherwise, like if you stop for even just a minute, there will be people who sort of, they're, who are you? Where you come from? That they'll want to talk and chat with you. And so the longer you're here, the more people around are like waking up, sort of coming over to see what you're doing. And Axe Dreamer, he's gonna want to like start healing them and like curing disease.
All right, we are leaving now. Your turn to drive. You're just dropping off Rix. Quick drop off.
It's awfully early, but he can take the wheel a little early if Mer needs some beauty rest.
Yes.
In that case, having dropped off Rix, you speed along, and as
get my long rest.
as the morning lengthens and turns into day, you speed across the rocky desert and approach a hilly, group of hills and sort of like broken ground and badlands that are ahead of you. Sort of just from the talking with Yox and some of the other people that Ghost Hill is amongst these, and that Jando's Rock is not far from that, separated by what was once a lake of some kind that is now just a dry expanse. Are you guys heading straight for it? Which one of the two are you headed to? What's y'all's plan for this?
Well, what did the little thing tell me besides, or did it just say, "It's 5 me"? It says, "Hey, what's up?"
So, I don't want to keep forgetting about it. I just do. My brain's all over the place.
It's all good. Mine is too.
2019. So at some point, maybe like Mer's done with her stint driving and begins to try to find a place to get rest. It makes another appearance. It kind of like comes out, and it's this still feline shape when it's as you first saw it in, and it kind of stretches out and looks at you and begins to cough in these sort of like, it seems like it's like hacking up a hairball of some kind, and it hacks itself so hard it turns itself inside out, and an impish sort of figure stands in front of you, and it's like spits out the fur. So as I said before, I am an emissary of Duke Phimius, and I believe that you had a particular meeting with him not too long ago, and he wishes to employ you as a scout and a diplomat in
Interesting.
little problem that he has.
Well, I am an excellent diplomat. Did he have a specific time he wished to meet, or is simply my nearest convenience, or the sooner the better?
Oh, you misunderstand. He's a very busy personage, and I can't possibly bother him with minor details like that. I just can't go on. Well, you're going to have to act independently in this regard. I'm here as your overseer in this.
Oh, of course you are. What am I to scout then?
Well, the encampment of this so-called fallen angel and the, well, let's just say the infernal soldiers who are MIA in their duties back home.
Ah, so he is not at this encampment. This is a different encampment.
Very true. I'm not at liberty to say where the Duke is right now.
Yes, I had simply assumed he was in charge of this.
Well, it's yeah, he is always in charge, but rogue elements within the hierarchy.
Of course, there always exist. Disorder amongst order must always be corrected, of course.
Well, you know how it is. There's always people slacking off.
Usurpers, yes.
So, all you got to do is, scout the place if you can. If you're able, he'd love it if you could get the whole lot of them back home, and the being a nice addition to his own forces, as you see. I can't speak further on the matter, but it's very important to him.
Okay, of course. And he would like this done sooner rather than later, most likely, yes?
Oh, sure. He also would like you to check and make sure that the portal between our two worlds is kept open and secured. If you have the time to do that, we wouldn't want to impose.
Of course not, no.
And he kind of looks expectantly at Mur during all of this, as if,
she's just got that diplomat face of listening. Go on.
And of course, a certain mutual acquaintance of ours would like you to undermine all of Duke's plans and completely disrupt anything that he might have going on. That's, of course, in someone else's interest. Right now, they wish to remain anonymous, though.
It wouldn't happen to be a specific Karada, would it?
No, I can't.
I just want to see if he reacts to that name. I'd like to do an insight check. No.
All right, what do you got?
That's actually not too bad. I got an 18.
He is telling the truth.
Okay. He can't say.
He can't say. I'm not at liberty to say. It's I understand. There's multiple binding curses and
multiple,
all.
Yes.
Zip.
He was just hoping he wasn't as good as his job as he professed to be. In a way, happens with underlings a lot.
And so he's like this gross, bug-eyed, impish little creature, scaly and wiry, and six-limbed as well, and seems more like I don't know what you'd call him. He's definitely an imp, but he's an elite imp.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
higher tier imp.
Higher tier imp.
Great.
And then finally, as he kind of leans in and sort of buddies up.
I'll lean into.
Finally, this mutual acquaintance of ours, who currently is anonymous, wishes you to, in your own good time. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse in front of you. But in your own time, just find a place within the Duke's court. Just make with the nice. And, I think it could be very fruitful for you if you, put your mind to it.
Of course. So disrupt plans, not disrupt plans. Place in the Duke's court. You've been quite informative. I will proceed with plans immediately.
Oh, wonderful. I pop in on you from time to time. If you ever need me, and here's how you can give me a call. And he scratches an infernal rune in I don't know, whatever Mur has on hand.
Yeah, she'd have parchment. No, all sorts of other stuff. Too. Yeah.
If you ever need me, just give me a call with that one. I'd love to help. And like I said, if you ever need me for any freelance work, and he hands you another one, I'm happy to birthday parties.
I'll exchange business cards. I'm like, yes. And if you know anyone who'd be interested in this, anyone.
At that, he sort of furballs himself back into a feline and seems to just kind of you just lose track of him.
You just kind of imagine kind of when the dust motes in Studio Ghibli, they just yeah.
But he has this, and it just, I don't know. I guess really the only one, it was all infernal, obviously. And so most of it also seems, you got the impression that even though everyone else sort of in the tiny hut, that they didn't even really know you were talking to him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And you guys have never, he never is not a weird alien feline thing, as far as you saw. So yeah, that's sort of how it goes. That one of those nights.
All right. So yeah, we have to pass Jando's Rock to get to the place Gildan wants to get to. So
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she'll make a pass by one of the infernal encampments.
In that case, you guys come across it shortly before midday, and let's see. Let me break out my other notes real quick. But it is a lone sort of hilltop village. The land around here consists of these sort of rolling hills that have like old gnarly cactuses like in the gullies between them, and they kind of surround this dry lake bed. The lake bed is where Jando's Rock is. There's like a tall rocky pillar that looks like it was once connected to the mainland by an arch that's since fallen, and they kind of have built a fortress on top of that tall pillar. Ghost Hill is a walled village on the southern shores of this dry lake bed. Jando's Rock is on the north end of that lake bed. And you can already tell that Ghost Hill is a militarized encampment. Whatever army it is that's there, they've spread out beyond the walls. There's like a fence of some kind that's been built. They've dug a trench. Everything's nice and neat and orderly on the inside. All of the tents and things are in rows. And so it has a very orderly appearance to it as you get close. You can tell, though, that you have attracted attention. A group of something moving quickly is coming towards you. They're not there yet. But even without the spyglass, without anything, they're not trying to hide their approach to you.
Are they big?
It looks like a large group of them, yeah.
What is it? What do they look like? Spyglass.
Converts.
They look like a group of hobgoblin outriders. They're riding war beasts. Looks really like desert lizards that basically like horses. But at their helm is an infernal soldier. Difficult to tell exactly what sort, wearing some sort of like horned and scaled armor, with large lance. But yeah, they will be there soon. But like I said, they're moving towards you.
Okay. Mer will slow the pace, or tell Bekorthik to slow the pace of the skiff so that way we don't look like we're aggressive or trying to meet them in battle, but as in accepting of their approach.
And what's everybody else?
I'm going to kneel down. I'm going to kneel down out of view and load my musket.
Okay.
Trying to be seen.
Gotcha.
If they're watching us.
Yeah. And then how about Ellie?
I think she's gonna take out her great axe and just kind of put it with the sharp end down, kind of like rest her hands on it.
Okay.
And kind of wait.
And Icky?
Icky will let Slip Slash out of her side bag and kind of like seeing everybody else waiting is kind of like, okay, well, I guess we're not murdering anybody yet. That's fine. But we'll look menacingly.
I would like to try diplomacy with these infernal soldiers. I will thaumaturgy.
Do this, and it is always a waste of time.
I'm going to thaumaturgy like flames in my eyes, so look a little more hellish than normal.
When was the last time we had a conversation that did not end up with the other side dead?
We'll do it when we were in hell.
Was I conscious? I think I was going through some stuff.
Yeah, I think you were. Yeah, still under the dominating person. Yeah.
And almost in the last village, but things went sideways.
And with the Medusa, right? Like,
yes, that's true. With the Medusa.
Oh, that's true.
The acquisition of the Croitic.
Yeah, okay.
Gildan's gonna climb up into Old Bonebag's rib cage, and then he's gonna button his pajamas because that's what he's dressed in front of it. Hands on his hips.
He's ready.
32 sessions, 3 peaceful outcomes. I'm feeling good about this.
So we've got a show of force by the party as you sort of like wait for them to arrive. You're not aggressive, anything like that. And they approach, and there is a...
I'll hail them in Infernal when they're close enough. Greetings.
They draw up short, and the infernal, the attired captain, I guess, approaches, and from his visor, you can hear, "Greetings. What are you, and what is your purpose?"
What are you, and what's your purpose?
He kind of looks at Ellie and is... I am Vexation. I am here to make sure that no one gets close to the master.
Who's the master?
Yes, I am very intrigued as to who your infernal master is, as I myself hail from the 2nd level of hell. This.
And there's a moment there where they just seem to regard you. They don't make any moves or anything. He seems to be
making myself as succubi-ish as possible.
He seems to be taking your measure, or rather the group's measure. Is anyone do anything during this this moment of just sort of silence?
Yeah. So Gildan's kind of going to speak through the speaker, up through his throat and out his mouth. I am the speaker of all truths.
Mur, like, barely contains an eye roll. It's like...
Mouth is just open. Just the full sentence comes out.
Oh my god.
Icky will, like, Icky's been learning some things from Mur, and Icky will turn to Mur and say, "This is going well."
Incredibly.
There was
Maybe we should drop him off and come back all the way.
you see the visored figure turn his head to look at Gildan, and you travel with strange company.
I'd like to keep a menagerie about. It's entertaining.
Yes, we were told that there would be an arrival. You have news for us, I take it.
Perhaps.
He doesn't seem happy about that.
She's like, news for you guys. Huh.
Perhaps this is a conversation for our master. And with that, he turns his mount and looks back at Joe and bids you to follow him.
Okay.
You don't have to look so angry.
They all just sort of like weathered and beaten faces looking at you. There is a hard work ahead, and we are determined to see it through.
At least you're a determined person. That's a pretty good characteristic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They kind of like look at Ellie strangely at that.
I just smile.
Merge just kind of mouths in infernal, entertaining.
See. Well, our master awaits. Well, you will see. And they lead you up through the to the village.
I've got my peepers open. I am taking everything in as we arrive.
Okay. It's a couple of minutes that'll take you to get through the encampment and into the village. Nenizen, you were sort of in hiding, or at least behind cover. Do you maintain that? What do you do?
No. I'll go with.
Okay.
He doesn't keep his despite how big and long his weapons are, he does keep them hidden.
Gotcha.
He has very good posture, or they have very good posture. But follow.
Okay. In that case, I'm sort of
weirdly attracted to following Gildan.
Okay. You pass through a military encampment of mostly wastelanders, although you can see several infernal figures milling about. Many of them seem to be clad in what Mur would recognize as infernal forged armor. It has sort of a dark greenish tint to it, and but otherwise they wear featureless visors in the shape of gargoyles and great beasts and
Is there any kind of heraldry or flags kind of depicting?
You see crude sort of symbols of a figure in shrouded in flames.
Okay.
It's painted crudely onto shields and tabards. There's an attempt at kind of uniformity and the like from the Wastelanders, but they're got to work with what they're working with. But they are clearly being led and disciplined by infernal officers.
Yeah.
And you can even see some of the larger fiends stalking about, great big skeletal figures with leathery skin stretched over them, kind of tower over the others, and other figures that look like gargoyles brought to life, all spined and with great lashing tails. The closer you get to the walls of the city, which have these old chains and skeletons attached to the chains, and they're weathered, and most of them are not even full skeletons. They're just half of whatever figures they were, stretched around the perimeter of the walls. By the time you get on the inside, it's pretty much just devils, and you see them milling about. Some wastelanders are still there, mostly bugbear or hobgoblin, but there's some sort of platform or something black metal, charred and dark and sooty, that's been erected in the center of the village. They've cleared out the buildings for it. They've torn them down, and there's a crowd that's sort of there around this platform. You're led into the village by this figure, and then pretty much just asked to disembark from your skiff. Anybody saying anything, doing anything? How are you carrying yourselves at this point? Because you're deep into an encampment that is, as far as any of you know, the largest army that's been assembled in the wastelands in living memory.
Icky,
And they're doubles.
Mm-hmm.
I want one of those gargoyles. What's so funny, Gildan?
I am the speaker of truth.
That is correct.
Mouth opens.
His mouth's
the whole
open.
sentence comes out.
Icky, for this conversation, Icky realizes that she can no longer do this thing where she secretly speaks to Mur.
Yeah.
It's oh, I'm cut off from co-mom. And so when she speaks to Ellie, it is in Draconic, and she will say, Ellie, it is very important that we remain on our guard here. Mur will act like these are her friends, but they are not. I don't know why she does it, but we will probably have to kill someone. It is probably better if we do it quietly rather than as loudly as we tend to.
And then can I get a gargoyle?
if there's room on the skiff.
She kind of looks at the skiff and then looks at Gildan. And it's like, we should have left him.
I'm just saying.
There is no doubt that we will break something of Gildan's later today. So
Gildan's like one of those individuals when he goes, or they go to the county fair and they see like those giant stuffed animals. And it's like, oh, I wish someone would win one of those for me. And Gildan's just like, we got to get Ellie a gargoyle.
yeah,
It only seems right.
It's like-
We got to win one.
Icky is implying to Ellie that if Gildan loses the bone thing, that they could probably fit a gargoyle.
I'm
on
gonna be
it.
honest. I was gonna have the old bone bag carry me up, then I was just gonna turn and be like, "Thanks, old bone bag." Then do destroy undead, and he just
Crumbles the dust.
Savage.
Yeah.
Probably,
I like it.
you
Do
could
it.
probably sell him as like a cheap labor to
Um,
somebody in this
mhm.
town.
Mhm. There are several.
I'll
he's
trade
not
you
the
this
only- he's not the only
undead
undead around here.
skeleton for this
Yeah.
gargoyle.
I would
Yeah.
trade the speaker of all truths, walking corpse, for a gargoyle. In fact, I think I'm gonna go try to make that trade.
Okay.
Gildan pops out. It's like, "Come with me," and I take him by the hand and I'm leading him. Cigarette
You,
dangling.
you go up to the first gargoyle you
I
see,
am not the responsible.
like this gargoyle creature that you see. Are any? I guess really Mur's the only one in a position to know what any of these creatures are.
Yes.
Right. Is that what Gildan does?
Oh no.
I've got to look at. Gildan looks at Icky, because can't.
And I get in front of Icky and like do a puppy face, like a
Like he's like this towering lizard person. You just kind of pop it underneath.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gargoyles aren't fiends or anything, so
No, they're great.
I don't know. So Icky doesn't
Well,
know
these might
anything
be.
about.
They're hilarious.
Gargoyle like.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Reminds one of a gargoyle.
Oh,
Yeah.
because yeah.
They're not
'cause
like
Icky
they're not like
did,
animate stone statues. Is what I mean.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because Icky did take fiends as her second like
Yeah, that's right. You might actually know.
enemy, so she might actually know that this is a fiend, and she might just like
Very smart.
not
yeah,
say anything.
Yeah, that's a fiend. It's definitely a fiend.
Oh, she'll do the
Not to say.
So,
Gildan. No, okay.
yeah,
I
as
tried. I
Chess
don't-
says, let's get down to the brass tacks. How much for that gargoyle? No, I'm gonna stone skin myself up and be like, win in Rome. And
Oh, no.
yeah, I'm going up.
Right.
I both hate and love.
All right.
Stuff with
So the
hold'em.
creature itself is I don't know, 10, 11, 12 feet tall.
Nice
Just
basketball. hoop.
just like towers over most of the rest of the things here, and it's
Yeah.
got its wings tucked around behind it and a tail that's kind of like lashing, and you just want to approach it.
I think
Well,
before we make it into
Really?
made it into the town, Murd have been like, I don't claim responsibility.
disclaimer.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
well,
Instead
And-
of warning the skiff not to touch anything, you're just like, well, if they touch something,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You as you dismount, the
Hmm.
the person who's leading you up here, the figure, infernal soldier.
so so that's the big thing, and it's a big fiend, and it's. Can you
It's like a
re-describe
big-
the situation? Like, is this the gargoyle I'm trying to snag, or is this the owner of the gargoyles?
It's the only one. It's the only thing that's been like a gargoyle that you've seen, right? Most of the ones around here are like they're more of the humanoid type. There's really just like this one that you've seen
Yeah.
that you come into the village and sort of see
So-
this gigantic gargoyle-like figure.
I really think the play here is the inverted magic circle around it, and then planar bind it to us. For 24 hours, we'll have a gargoyle. I'll probably die in the attempt, but I think
Do it.
Anna's one of the best role players online today, and it's worth an attempt.
This is probably like a super taboo.
Yeah. This is one of
my
those things
gosh.
where I would, if you're about to start busting out binding spells and the like, then that's a someone is going to come over and say something to Gildan. If only because if you're trying to walk up and talk to someone, it sees you approach and is. And
I know. I've got to. I'm assessing the situation. I'm
it's sort of
assessing the
like,
situation.
what do you
So it's
want?
like 10, 12 feet tall.
I
Your
follow
autograph?
behind.
Yeah. Gildan's like, your autograph? He does, and the Speaker of All Truths holds up a little parchment. You're very impressive.
It's sort of like touches the paper and it catches on fire.
Oh, that's great. Woo! And we catch the ashes in a little jar. Yeah. We catch the ashes in a little jar. And we just want to let you know. We heard from far that you were the greatest of all the army. Is this true?
We have been victorious in this campaign so far. And it's kind of like you can tell that he's holding something back. But is at least talking to you.
So, like,
in a weird way.
What has been the biggest challenge so far? Has it been the Medusa's army?
And it kind of like he's like, the what now?
The invincible army of the Medusa to the north. Have you not heard of it?
No, these wastelanders don't have anything like an army.
Oh. You're never gonna see it coming. But I believe in you anyways, since you are the greatest of them all.
He's like, he just sort of, it seems to,
yeah, I'm not charming. Sorry, guys. It's been a rough couple weeks.
He seems to just sort of be more confused than anything, if that's the look on his face you can read. And what is it that you want, creature?
Oh, I'm looking to get a gargoyle for my friend Ellie, but I don't know quite how to do it. And old Bonebag here hasn't been much help, but you look like an individual of great intelligence and prowess.
I look over like...
Don't make eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
I make eye contact.
If you name it, then you have to keep it.
Stare into the pools of fire that are his eyes. You wish to make a contract, then. Yeah. Speak with... you see his like long sort of scaled neck kind of look around, almost like grows out of his shoulders. There, Mahabrin, and he points to just any number of fiendish creatures that are milling about. He will sign a pact with you if a gargoyle is what you wish.
So there's a couple different ways I think I can handle this. One idea is to sucker one of these fiends into playing a game of chance with old Bonebag that never ends while I bind them planar. You do the player binding. It's like, here, you sit here and play cards for an hour. But I don't know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to sell my soul for Ellie.
Wait, does Ellie know that you're gonna do that?
Gildan doesn't know Gildan's gonna do that, and neither does Grant. So we'll see. Yeah, so Gildan's looking for a fiend. He's like, soul for sale, ready to make a pact.
There's as what's everybody else doing while all this is
please don't, guys. This is a slippery
following
slope.
the guy who is taking me to the leader, and I've told everyone to stay on the skiff.
The moment that Ellie like makes eye contact with this fiend, like Icky just like flicks her in the temple. She's like, do not do that.
Why?
They will look into your mind.
I like kind of look away and be like, okay, maybe if you can find us some food, and I'll just hang around over here. And I kind of like start walking away. That's right, we'll be over here. Just go that way.
Stay on the skiff.
Yeah, you're gonna go this way now.
Icky will look at Axtrom and say, go with her.
All right. And he, hops down off the skiff. He seems incredibly uncomfortable around here.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And he,
I think Merwin approached it like told him earlier, we're going to screw over some devils.
He's fine with that. Like, I'd like to be, you've gotten to know him as well as he's gotten to know you. He's not like a chivalrous, lawful good kind of type, right? He fights monsters, which has a loose definition. and is in love with this goddess, and that's pretty much his deal. So he's kind of morally flexible in a way that he doesn't initially present himself as.
Great job, Burks. You got a great human on pod from.
But he also, does like enjoy helping people out. And he seems like genuinely like being helpful in a way that not many people around here do.
Good. Paladin, escort my daughter through this encampment of devils, please.
It's no problem.
As soon as Icky kind of turns away, I'm gonna look back into the gargoyle's eyes and just think, "Hi."
I swear to God, what was
greetings. You're a human, are you not? Not many people around here.
I look around. Nope. Even though Axe Streamer is right next to me.
He wears like a full helmet and like armor that kind of conceals so he presents himself as an orc.
Okay.
And sometimes he even like, if he has to show his face, uses a disguise kit to like come across as a half orc.
Don't have kids.
Yeah.
Don't raise teenagers. This is how they treat you, Twitch. Audience.
So you can tell, and after this comment by Icky, Ellie realizes it's speaking to you, but you don't hear it with your ears. It's speaking directly into your mind.
Mark gonna be so mad when she finds out everybody got off this gift. She's gonna be like,
"Yeah, full on mom mode."
Yeah.
Well, I just think you're really cool. And do you like making friends? Can we be friends?
I enjoy making many friends. Yes. Is there a particular type of friend that you find yourself in need of?
Well, do you like painting?
In a fashion, yes.
What kind of fashion?
I like painting with fire and blood.
Oh.
But other mediums can be satisfactory.
Okay. Do you like making jewelry?
No.
You could probably make some with bones, and I like dangle my little teeth bracelet.
If I needed such a thing, I would take it instead of making it.
Arts and crafts are pretty fun. But
He looks at you skeptically.
Yeah, I like this whole time I just try to keep my mind as like simple as possible. Like only think about the moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, does that mean we're friends now?
I suppose you could consider it that way. What service would you require as part of our friendship?
She like thinks about it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe just if my friends and I got hurt, maybe somebody to help out, or somebody that enjoys food a lot, especially dried insects. But if you have other preferences, that's okay too. But you can't eat like any of us.
I see that we have some details to work out. Shall we make it official?
How do you do that?
As I said, Mahabrin is a notary of sorts.
Ellie's about to get a promise ring from a devil.
Hell notary. Hell notary.
No,
Hey.
Lindy, stop.
Okay, I don't have any money.
Money is of little consequence to me.
Okay, or souls to give. I know some of you are into that kind of thing.
That can be fixed if you wish to extend our friendship further.
What do you mean?
We are capable of offering a great many gifts if our friendship is deemed valuable enough.
So I have to prove myself worthy to be your friend?
Not approving, more of a bonding experience. And you see, he's like, as you've talked to him, he seems like shorter, and like you're not having to like crane your neck up to look at him. It seems more like you're just like talking eye to eye with him.
Is he still like pretty big though?
Yeah. It's more of like a subtle mental effect than like a shape change.
Okay. It seems like this friendship is going to be complicated.
It inevitably is, but that is why we sort out the details ahead of time.
And she turns around.
Mhm.
What was your name?
And he scratches in the dirt a name. Let me see here. Arbros. You may call me if ever you need me.
Okay, Arbros. I legitimately just want to be friends. And I think you're just trying to be really shady. And I've never had a friend like you, but I just thought you were really cool looking. And, you seemed like a nice person. And then I kind of like gesture to him. But, yeah, I don't know. If you ever want to like paint stuff, you can call me.
There are very few people in these worlds who offer something for nothing. You should reconsider. I will be here. You just have to call.
At that last part, she seems very confused, and she's like, And then looks at Axe Streamer. What did he meant by that? I mean, what did he mean by that?
Asher was like, what are you talking about? He didn't say anything. He just stared at you. And Asher was like, got his hand on his axe, looking at the creature, he does not trust. He clearly does not trust this thing.
Yeah. Okay. And she like starts walking towards where Gildan is.
Yeah, I guess Gildan had started a gambling game or something.
No. Okay, so I need to get to Mobrin, and I'm going to go for a gamble. And there's no clear answer on this. It's going to be a DM decision. I want to trade a soul for services, and I've got the Speaker of All Truths here. And by some definitions, he is merely an insane soul being trapped to the body that's being manipulated. However, we got him, and he's magnificent. He's smoked, for crying out loud. And I think they could be very useful. Or maybe, if they're not willing to trade that, maybe they can upgrade him somehow. I'd be willing to do that.
Upgrade old bag of
old bone bags. I want him to
bone
grow horns or something. I want him to get modded and tricked out anytime we run into a camp.
Okay.
I want to trade his soul for his service of a fiend. And I want the fiend to belong to Ellie.
So Mahabran is a gross, squatty little fiend.
Possibly a relative of mine.
It seems to just like be like someone took I don't know, like an ogre and then just like squished him down to goblin size. Just like roll of glistening fat and just sort of like pudgy fingers, and kind of like a head that more emerges out of its chest and shoulder area than anything, and through sort of like jowly a jowly mouth with short, sharp teeth, kind of like looks at you and
Mahabran, you've lost weight and you look great.
What is it then? You're sent here by someone then, right?
Yeah.
You recruit? Huh? You get equipped over there.
No, that tall drink of water over there said they'd give me their services in exchange for this guy's soul.
I wish to enter a compact. Then, and he starts like, he almost seems like he's put out by it and starts grousing, and pulls out a sheaf of scrolls of some kind. He seems serious about it. What the nature of the compact then? We should talk business.
Yes. So, yes, we turn over the soul of the Speaker of All Truths, and in return, one Ellie creation of Anders gains and retains all services of Devil-ocalypse over there.
You wish that one there,
Yeah.
Abros,
Yeah.
strong warrior, mighty in battle. More than a soul of this creature here. I can.
Are you sure about that?
You see him like look at look at old Bone Bag, just
Who is smoking?
impressive, I think. But an imp, perhaps, not one of the Malabranc. Small.
Okay. I'll trade him for an imp.
Very good. Is what sort of tasks then is this creature to perform? This imp will enter a compact for.
The tasks include friendship, BFFdom, and they will be there for Ellie when Ellie needs them, because we're not always there. And she has her 2 moms, but they can't even speak Infernal around her.
Stop. This is horrendous and gross. Great offense to our values as a people.
Well, at least you have
She
values.
can dispose of the imp however she wishes, if whatever perversions she wishes to engage in. But
She hasn't
it
even
would
been kissed yet.
stretch.
Okay, what will it cost then?
A year of service in the Blood War.
Whose service?
Ours.
Wait, no. Like, who are you putting into service exactly? Old Bone Bag?
You
Good.
would owe a debt and fill it however you see fit.
A year of service in the Blood War.
She can do whatever she wants with it.
All right, but
Sing and skip and jump and make little daisy chains and paper dolls.
could we have it
Disgusting.
reduced to 6 months on account of my tinnitus? Constant ringing.
We can fix that. As I said, you would only be you would only need to fulfill the obligation. We do not care how.
Got it.
He has as the entire time he's been fiddling with scrolls and pulls out a standard sign, and he begins directing.
Anything else you'll throw in for these guys? And I drop like Gizmo, Oddnob, and Corn Job, my 3 little tiny servants that I've like has stowed away that are kind of dancing in front of him. And I'm getting ready to sign. I was like, anything else you'll throw in for that? Like maybe something like a nice shirt for Mur over there, or some teeth for Icky.
I can give you a syllable of Demon Prince's name for those.
Yeah, I'll take that. I hope
right.
it's the most difficult syllable to say in the any
No,
language.
it's like this.
Yes. Cool. Yeah, and Gildan signs away some of his life to serve in the Blood War.
Mhm.
And I pick up the imp, or I imagine I do, and I'm going to bring it over to Ellie.
Yeah, it's like it's like sleeping now. It's all cuddled up.
All right. His soul's yours, and I wave my hand and I destroy the... I don't know. The soul. He wants the soul, right?
But sure, he doesn't care.
Do you want me
That's
to
a gross
dispose of
skeleton.
this? Just vanquish him. Catch the cigarette, though. I don't want to waste it. And finish the smoke as I carry the imp baby over to Ellie.
Wait, what did you do?
I got you. I got you this. I got you
It's a
a
mini
baby.
gargoyle.
It's a child. It's like a little gargoyle.
Huh.
It was hard to win. Like, now I'm no Jonathan Pruitt, but when I play a carnival game, I tend to win a few of them. So,
Who's Jonathan Pruitt?
One really good at carnival
The-
games and juggling.
someone very good at carnival games.
What are carnival games?
Hold on, sorry. When Pruitt in chat goes, it's just a year. Yeah, in Goblin lifespan, that's like 7 of ours. It's like, No, yeah, I'm like here. I got you. It's your best friend, and it'll be your friend, and that's the deal, and that's the terms. I'm gonna have to serve a year in the Blood War, but however I fulfill that, I'm sure I can bamboozle someone into, you know, someone that wants to go, someone like him. I look at Axe Streamer.
What's that?
I was talking about how great you look with your full helm.
And Lang.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
I should have traded
man.
Lang. Hey, I got this guy in my head.
got a
No,
good
wait.
great idea.
You could have sold Lang's soul to the devil. That would be beautiful. What can I get for this case?
Right. Oh, delightful. So all this has been going on, like, they're more than happy to deal with mortals and seem like every one of them that you approach is like, oh, of course I'll talk to you. And as you make your way through this crowd of fiends and clearly wastelanders who have given themselves over into the service of these infernals, you draw closer to this scaffolding thing in the middle. Although I guess it's really more Nenazin, Icky, and Mur at this point. And it appears as though there is a figure of some kind bound to it, sort of like by the wrists and sort of crouched down. It looks like the chains of it are kept taut and drawn tight, as the figure seems to be in pain, but also is. You see fiends coming up to it and listening to it. It's sort of whispering to them, and it seems as though there's like a long line of people attempting to like hear what this thing's saying. It's humanoid as well. Y'all hanging back or doing something?
I was following that guy who was leading me to the leader. So
Okay,
sorry,
that's where they're leading you. Sorry.
Oh, that's where they're leading me. Okay.
Yeah, that's where they're leading you.
Okay,
That's good. I was updating notes. Sorry.
Oh no, my bad. I'm all over the place as well
No,
tonight.
you're fine.
Does
You guys are
the
fine.
creature appear in pain?
Yes. It appears in pain, and when you catch glimpses of its face, it seems also to be in some sort of ecstasy. It's
Okay,
it's
some
clearly-
Cenobites nonsense.
Mhm, mhm.
So I imagine Icky learned almost everything that she does know about infernals for them to be her, or for fiends for her to be her, one of her preferred enemies from Mur. Did Mur teach her anything about something like this? Can she use insight or history to
Ooh,
figure out what this relationship is?
I think, yeah. Go ahead and give me. I think maybe this is more of an insight thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I would love to use +6 on this. Gives me nothing. I got a 13. That's fine. I can't read. I'm Icky. I'm 6'3" and I never learned how to freaking read.
Would I figure this is celestial they're trying to corrupt, perhaps?
It certainly seems that way. Yeah. As you draw closer, like there's these sort of like partial connections that Icky's making. Like this isn't like right. Maybe we talked about this, but it's not quite clicking.
I don't know
Definitely.
where its cloaca is. I have questions.
Yeah, it's got the skeletal structure for some kind of wings or other limbs, but they don't have. It's just the bones, sort of blackened and useless.
Like a
and
fallen Asimar?
you look at them, and the closer you get, you realize that they're statuesque and quite tall. If its skin wasn't charred and blackened by burns and like scorch marks and clearly like it's been whipped or scourged or something, its features are flawless, and the look on its face when you do see it is it's exquisitely beautiful in a way that like almost makes your heart ache. And it has this look of mixed pain and pleasure on its face as it whispers something to these people who are coming up to it. And you are led to the back of the line.
Okay. Interesting. I guess I'll wait in line.
Anybody, Merce gonna wait in line? Anybody else waiting in line? There's a big line of people there. They don't seem to be soldiers. They seem to be like just wastelanders. And some of them seem nervous. Some of them seem like yeah, I can't wait to talk to the master.
Oh, so this is the master.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yes, he offers freedom, and all we have to do is follow. And he's offered us a place at his side. And they just in the murmur of it, kind of ripples up the line as this person begins talking to Myrrh.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep them talking.
Okay.
It's interesting. Freedom, you say?
Freedom.
Kinda freaking me out.
We have everything we need here, and all we have to do is serve the master. It's well, and he seems kind of like excited about the prospect of it.
This is a wastelander.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm sure it's thrilling.
Yep. How did you find it? He wants to strike up a conversation about like, how did you hear about it? Who are you here for?
It's rumors are all around, of course, the wasteland. I had to see it for myself.
Oh, and sort of like began talking to you, like sort of like back, sort of like talking over his shoulder at you. And as he turns to face you, sees that you're in full on succubi mode, and then is sort of like, oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. And just like stops talking to her. It's like, I won't. I'm sorry. And
It's fine.
Anybody else waiting in line?
Hell no. This is messed up, Jim.
I know.
Icky's gonna like leaning over to Ellie like, who worships a creature in chains like that? This is strange. I don't like this. This is creepy.
Would Myrrh think it's odd for this celestial corrupting celestial to be in charge of this operation? It would seem.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
TK thinks it's odd.
I think it's odd. I just want to see if it's
This is weird.
There's a weird atmosphere around the scaffolding. The devils that are here are they're almost entirely. You see like several like bone devils. Myrrh would recognize.
yeah.
And things like that are just seem to be keeping order and making sure things move along nicely. Flights of smaller like porcupines kind of devils sort of fly around, but there's almost an aura of reverence and worship that's going on here, as it's quiet, orderly, and somber almost.
Should be orderly, of course.
Is
Of
anybody getting back in line after they've been talked to sit back on Santa's lap, or what's going on?
Yeah, as you were walking up, you heard a few people some people walk off and make their way towards this grotesque devil that Gildan was talking to. And some of them are dragged away screaming. And so that's happened a couple of times here. Most seem to be walking over and talking to the other devils, and they seem to be like, that's when they begin, they're inputted into the system kind of moment.
Okay.
But occasionally someone is dragged away screaming by a bone devil. You're not sure where they go. But that's what you
No.
Big noob.
Myrrh can make me an Arcana check now that you've spent some time close enough to sort of see what's going on here. And while Myrrh's waiting in line, what's everybody else doing? Because by now the business with negotiating between Abros and Mahabrin is done, and I guess Ellie has a baby imp.
This ain't no Scooby-Doo mystery. I'm not climbing up in that line for anything really. It's no. Why do I want to do that? I do kind of want to like send Slip Slash after one of the Bone Devils just to like report back, like, are the people being led away like in serious distress? Are they being punished?
Are they being eaten?
Is this like a police issue, or like things like that. So I will send Slip Slash after at least one of the Bone Devils when we see somebody being dragged away screaming.
Okay, awesome.
Is it devils being dragged away screaming or wastelanders? Wastelanders.
There seems to be like a 10-to-1 ratio between wastelanders and devils here.
I was
Like,
actually going to
way
ask
more
about that.
wastelanders than
So
devils.
does it seem like majority wastelanders dragged away screaming, or like 100% majority wastelanders dragged away screaming?
More like 1 in 4, 1 in 5.
Ooh,
It's enough, right?
That's a sturdy number.
Yeah. And every time the people in line get rather nervous and sort of apprehensive, but they stay. They don't nobody tries to leave once they get there.
Yeah. Icky's gonna look at Ellie and say, "Come with me," and like kind of incline her head towards like where one of those bone devils is leading someone off.
Okay. So like carry.
I got a 29 for my Arcana check, Jim.
Oh yeah, there's some kind of ritual that's going on here, but you can detect signs of a ritual that was halted and that would have caused all manner of weird effects. A ritual of this power to turn a celestial into a fiend, if it's stopped in the middle of it, it's
halted, and it's
not
like a weird.
Yeah. So you just
in between state. Interesting.
So all of the, I don't know how do I put it, all like the arcana trappings that are around you, glyphs on this metal cage, which you can tell is wheeled as well.
Okay.
And they describe sort of channeling of arcane energies to corrupt this sort of holy creature, but they don't throw them with power. And the behavior of the celestial there is what kind of tips you off this sort of in between.
Interesting. Okay.
And so Icky and Ellie are sort of talking. How about Ninazin and Gildan then?
Ninazin first. Zinni's first.
Gosh. Yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with the screaming, writhing, ecstatic thing. In fact, I don't think that they really understand any of this, like why people would be here.
Yeah, you don't have any frame of reference at all for celestials, fiends, anything like that.
Yeah. I think they can sense the menace that all of these creatures give off, and they can sense the fear and desperation of the wastelanders that are here. But yeah, doesn't like it at all. They're on full alert, making sure that they keep tabs on everybody. And I'm considering doing Rory's telepathic bond in a moment when we're all together. Although they learned last time that Iki does not like that, so maybe they should ask everyone. Which case, before everybody splits up.
Okay. Yeah, this are like retroactive as y'all are coming into.
Slight retroactive. Maybe just as we approach the everyone. Does anyone mind me being a host to a joined mind?
A joined mind?
I think this time I am going to decline, as certain devils might seem to use that as a conduit. If they get into one brain, they might try to use that to springboard onto someone else.
Gildan removes his helm of comprehend language. It's just like, the more the merrier. Shines it a little.
Under normal circumstances, yes, but this time I will decline. Thank you, though.
That is wise. Okay. I don't like this place.
What's So you're on. Denison's on guard.
Yeah, he's just going to be on guard.
So a bit of
He's not gonna
flashback, getting some of the people
For
in,
the- yeah.
in a mind link. So otherwise, you're just on guard at the perimeter of the where everybody's got around the scaffolding. Then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and then how about Gildan then?
I'm mostly just trying to stick close to Ellie and, give her the best advice I can on raising fiends and imps, how much to feed it each day. And, some of the finer points like, hey, and if you set him on fire, it won't burn him at all. He's poison. He's pretty good. Be careful with this guy. Sticky.
Do I get to keep him forever?
Yeah, you absolutely do. And that's kind of the hardest part, because he'll go on forever. I'm not going to get into the part where, you'll be in your cold, cold grave and this imp will go on forever. Although you might as well. I don't really know how you've been engineered by your father. Yeah, but this imp, you get him forever.
So how this, in game terms, how this will work is you have an imp compacted with you who sticks around. If you want to control it, Ellie's going to need to learn the Find Familiar spell and to bind it through that as your proper familiar and control it. Otherwise, you just kind of have an imp that may or may not do what you want it to do, depending on
Could
what it
Mer
feels like.
help Ellie with this, even though she doesn't have the Find Familiar spell, but because she's familiar with fiends and
Sure,
contracts?
yeah,
and-
there's lots of ways to
Okay.
gain access to Find Familiar spell. Yeah.
Mer would like to help Ellie with that.
Gildan's like, don't worry, I'll wrestle him and tie him up and we'll drag him till he submits.
And so right now it's kind of like sleeping. It's a classic. It's sort of like an impish, deep crimson sort of skinned creature.
Little baby red
small.
gargoyle.
Little baby red gargoyle, little scorpion tail and glistening little claws. It's about the size. It's about the size of a puppy. It's small, like a Nerf football size thing.
So precious.
And it is sleeping at the moment. It's very warm as well. So yeah, that and all Bacroith's doing is just like, you really should just drown it right now.
What?
It's creature. It's going to be a menace, Ellie. I promise you, it's going to get into everything. It's going to eat all your food. It's going to spoil your milk and cause your hair to get split ends.
Man, I don't really care about my hair or any of that, but I'm gonna raise him to be a good boy.
I guess if anyone would be capable of it, it'd be you. So, I mean, if you need any help with it, just let me know.
You need to promise me something, and I get like very close to his face.
Like lifts his visor up.
You're not gonna attack it, right?
I'm not going to attack it, but if it comes after me, I'll punch it, kick it across the room.
And I'll punch you and kick you across the room.
This is my favorite married couple of any campaign ever. Ellie and Bacroith.
Bacroith. Mer's just like, oh, it's blossoming. Slowly,
He
but
just
sure.
kind
As
of
I
looks
look
at
at
Ellie and
him
just
in the
like,
eyes.
well, then keep it away from me, because I don't want to fight you, Ellie. I think it'd be a pretty nasty fight.
Great.
Yeah, you would probably die.
I mean, I would hope that if we did fight, it wouldn't be lethal. It'd be more like a wrestle or a punch, like a fisticuffs.
Icky immediately it wrestles boom.
Chat's named this best. It's the Beelzebub baby. That's what it's called for now.
Baby.
It's the
Oh my
Beelzebub
gosh,
baby.
Beelzebub baby is great.
I rolled a name for it, but I like Beelzebub baby better.
I think so
Ellie's
too.
baby. Rose Ellie's baby.
I'm gonna write that down. BL.
The baby.
This is like the two moms. Like, if all right, so your uncle got you a puppy. Now you got to learn to take care of it.
Gotta take care of it. And so that's how he leaves. He's just like, I don't want to fight you. It's a nuisance. That's it. And he puts his mask.
Go get touched by an angel. Jeez.
He doesn't want to.
Sorry. I'm sorry, so antagonistic.
He's literally never done anything.
Yeah, I know. Like he just glanced in my daughter's direction. I'm like, oh.
Right.
get
So
deli
it sounds
line.
like everybody else is sort of on the perimeter of this gathering while Myrrh goes in.
As far as the devils in the area, do they seem to be, because I know certain devils gravitate towards certain layers of hell. Do they all seem to be from maybe a particular section, or are they from like all different levels?
As you like kind of look around, they all seem to be the sorts of fiends that you'd find in the entrance layer of hell.
Okay.
I haven't quite decided how much I want to make all of the outer planes adhere to like the standard D&D thing.
Yeah.
And infernal realm. So it's like, whatever one where people would arrive at.
Okay, gotcha. All right, interesting.
So, and then even
not too far from Mercer, second level hill.
Yeah. You kind of say, they're sort of like they're the welcoming party. And you've caught. I mean, there's at least a couple of dozen of them.
Okay.
Most of them much lower ranking types. But as you get closer and closer, your turn approaches, and most of these more and more of the wastelanders seem to accept whatever offer it is, and they go off towards the quartermaster and begin part of their training. And it's been several minutes since one of them was dragged off and taken, which Icky and Ellie would know. They take them into this hut that's further back into the village, and what they do from there, you're not quite sure, because they take them in, shut the door, and it seems quiet. But Myrrh, it is your turn, and as you come close, you see two burly guards. They have this sort of ruddy crimson skin and these thick, wiry beards that seem to writhe and move of their own accord. And they motion you forward silently. And in this very still, very quiet moment, the Celestial cranes its head down, and in between spasms of pain, you can hear that it's whispering something.
What's it whispering, Jim?
Mm-hmm. So Myrrh leans in close.
This is bad.
Myrrh, I've been waiting for you. I had hoped that you would come here and see me. I'm glad that you were here before my transformation is complete. I think that I have something for you that will delight you if you will accept.
And you can see he's kind of looking at you. Really, probably more appropriate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be awaiting your reply.
And it knew my name. She finds interesting as well, and that it was expecting her. I have come here to figure out perhaps an arrangement of services. Been told that you perhaps need some information, and that I might be the one to provide it.
Yes.
And it's leans in even closer. It's sort of charred lips brush Myrrh's ear.
And the fiends who came here to show me the truth, they wish to use me for their own purpose. I can't have that. I need you to finish what they started so that we can become the real masters.
And what may I call you aside from the master? Your name?
The name I bore when I marched for heaven was Zariel. Free me and help me take this army back to where it came from, so that I can begin my work.
Interesting.
and it seems to be waiting.
Mm-hmm. So it wants to have the ritual finished and become fully corrupted
It
and
seems
take
that
over
way.
this army.
It seems that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess in case anyone didn't hear, I'm not sure how loud I was, but it's it's asking you to finish the ritual so that
I
it
just
can.
wanted to
Mhm.
verify that. That way I
Certainly.
didn't misconstrue it. I'm a little out of it today,
so
too.
that it can lead it back to hell.
So it can lead it back to hell. Phimeus wanted information on what was going on and to send some of the troops back to hell. And another interested party wants to fuck up those plans. I mean, Phimeus didn't say how to lead these guys back to hell, so I think Mur would agree, as it's kind of a win-win. Like, oh, well, I brought them back for you. There were some kinks in the process. She could talk her way out of that with Phimeus.
You would know that Phimeus gives vague and purposefully vague instructions. He's hoping that you'll mess up to find a way to punish you, surely. So
I'm real good at talking my way out of shit, though.
So Mur answers Zariel then as a...
I think I could find this amenable. We should go over further terms.
Yes. I think that would be wise. We have much work to do.
And you see some look in its eyes that suggests it's that it is not all there.
Yeah. Oh, great. That's fine.
Being close to it like this, it has a palpable aura of power. And,
okay.
You could tell whatever it was before this began was significantly powerful celestial. But it's the aura that it gives off. A creature like this is you can almost feel it when you get close, is conflicting. You feel in yourself these weird emotional states, vacillating between a moral compass you're not even sure you had, and even darker and more sadistic thoughts than maybe you've ever entertained. It's a very
moral compass. Ugh, get it out.
It's a very odd sensation being this close to it, and it's a still chained up, not going anywhere.
Okay.
But it leans back, sits back on its sort of crouching down, and almost instinctively the bearded devils there escort Mur away. You all saw this. Mur looks like she's being escorted towards where the quartermaster is, and the next person is already conversing with this celestial.
And did we hear all that? Or no, right? Because
it's very quiet. Yeah, it was at a whisper, even as close as he was to Mur, or it was to Mur.
Shall we follow her? I say to Icky.
Icky watches. Does Mur look like upset or?
Mur looks like she's thinking.
Oof.
She's got that cogs turning in her
I
head.
hate that face.
Yeah.
We should go. She will only get into trouble otherwise. Icky will meander in that direction without are other people is it weird? Would I be able to tell if it's weird if other people who are not being escorted are meandering in that direction at all or milling about there?
I think I might not have finished something, telling on something beforehand. That before they were sort of here's where you can park your skiff. They told you were under hospitality, basically.
Oh, okay.
That you were here not as honored guests, but that you were being allowed entrance without the normal having to be disarmed and
okay,
and
that's fine then. I just want to I'm trying to see if am I expected to skirt around things, or can I just like immediately walk in that direction?
Nobody seems to care where you go.
Cool. Icky will immediately walk in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, there's
I'll
people
follow.
everywhere, so it's kind of hard to be that I don't know, underhanded, but they also don't seem to be like, you can't go here, you can't do this, other than that room that they're putting, or that hut that they're putting people in.
That's fine. I do what I want.
So yeah, so you have free reign around the camp for now, at least. Mm-hmm. So are you all preparing to leave then, or you're waiting to see exactly what happens with Myrrh? All right. So over the course of the day, Myrrh, you're brought towards this fiend that Gildan was speaking to earlier, Mahabrin, who through again jowly sort of sharp teeth. It's like, all right, the master has been searching for one such as you, as skilled as you are. And he produces more paperwork, basically.
Gonna go over this with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah, and it's an ancient and weathered scroll that describes this ritual of transforming a powerful celestial into a fiend. Like I said, this takes the better part of a day. Myrrh's kind of occupied with this for most of that time. And they sort of describe what happened, which is that
I want to know who started this rituals. It could be important to the finishing.
Gotcha. So I want to see what everybody else would do, or like, just are you occupying yourselves in any way or anything?
I don't know. Like Myrrh seems like she's not as much in trouble, so I'm kind of like I'm super interested in that hut.
Okay.
And Icky is not typically a person who is curious about things. So like Icky will like look at Gildan and then look at Ninizen and kind of be like, Gildan.
Yes.
What do you think they do with the people in that hut?
I think what they do, the things that they do. He gets a little wistful about Baloo. No.
Nobody seems to walk out.
No. But there is often more than one exit.
Have we seen any wastelanders that had been dragged away screaming? Like, we've been out here a little while. Have we seen any of them that were dragged away? We haven't seen them since.
You haven't seen any of them. You've seen, like I said, there are other animate dead around here. In fact, they seem to be performing all of the menial labor. But most of them are skeletal. They've been stripped of their flesh and things like that. So their bones look new.
Okay. Then she'll look at Ninizen. Ninizen?
No, Josh.
What do you think?
Am I showing up?
Yeah, you're here.
Yep.
You're here. You're with us.
Icky's really just trying to get somebody else to
Let me see.
do their dirty work.
Is there anything close to the hut? Like any reason you would be, within like 30 feet or so?
There is other buildings, and there's more like the ruins of other buildings that have been torn down to say build the outer picket fence that sort of surrounds the whole place, or some of the other lean-tos and things that are there. It looks like they've been deconstructing the village bit by bit, but they've left this one hut here at the center of the village alone, and they drag away.
I'm gonna try to use that void stare again. I am going to use my limited, not precognition, but
Sure.
extra
Generalized psychic ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then walking up to the structure, you see on the inside that it's mostly empty. There are old furnishings and the like that have been pushed out of the way, and a cover has been thrown off the floor. That's like a rug or something, and an old trapdoor that leads down into the hill. It just is open. And that's really all that you can see in there. There's no one in there. The hut's not that big, right? And you've seen them carry away enough people now that it would be crowded in there if they were just,
Yeah. I'm going to report back. There's a trapdoor leading down, open. There's no one else in the hut. Everyone's on the ground.
Are they alive?
I cannot see.
Is it dark?
Yes.
Hmm.
What point in the day does Denizen do this? It's like immediately after Myrrh is escorted by the with Mahabran, or is it later in the day? Give me an idea, because you guys arrived there close to midday, and like I said, Myrrh's occupied until sundown.
How long has Myrrh been in the hut?
Myrrh's been in a different hut. There's a different.
I'm sorry. In the quartermaster's hut.
with the
paperwork lawyer hut.
I mean, at this point, a couple hours at least.
Oh man, like 15 minutes after she went in there, Icky got bored. Icky was like, "Ooh,
that's
boy,
why I got symbol Gildan.
we're still here and we haven't killed anyone."
Yeah, no, Denizen doesn't like being here, and so he would respond to Icky's, or they would respond to Icky's. I don't know, energy. I'm just being weird when I say things like that. Her emotional state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up what she's putting down, which is,
Yes.
I'm bored.
That's another way to put it.
Why don't we just go
probably
in there?
soon after?
I mean, there is a giant skeletal figure with some sort of, pissed off demeanor. It's kind of standing around the place.
By the tent?
Where they've been taking people, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Ellie will immediately approach.
Yeah.
Icky immediately regrets.
Yeah, it's sort of like you approach and it just, without saying anything, kind of like stands in front of the door menacingly.
Hi. She kind of like waits a second or two for a hello back.
Silence.
How's your day going?
Just like you can hear like a rattling growl from its throat.
Are you coming down with the cold? I had one once and it was really bad. But then I had this like water stuff with honey and it was really good. And then my throat was fine.
It kind of cranes its skeletal face down at you and it's sort of like, take that rat that you have and get out of here.
What rat? She like looks around.
Points at your imp.
Oh, is that what this is? Somebody just gave it to me. What is it?
Maggot food.
You're maggot foods. No, I don't.
What's that? Hecklers. But he's very clear. Move along. There's nothing here for you.
If I get rid of this, can I see what's inside?
You're gonna throw away your baby?
Soon enough.
I'll see soon enough. What do you mean?
And it's it kind of stands back up and again, this all's in your head. Wait until sundown.
What if I just hate surprises? Can't you just tell me right now what's gonna happen?
No.
Why?
It's a you're like, take a deep breath, count to 10.
Come on.
Don't have kids.
There is it would spoil the magic.
What?
God, this is like the most sinister Disneyland.
Right.
Worst red ever. What if I don't like magic? Do I have to like magic to be here? I like magic.
No, it's sort of like it's like at that point in a conversation where you're like, I should leave and just walk away, but it's like, no, I got to stay. Like, I can't just let this person think that. And it begins to argue with Ellie.
Okay, so once he gets to the teenager stage, Icky's gonna be like trying to go around like back and just kind of like, is there a weak spot in the wood?
Yeah.
It's like waiting for that moment, just like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you activated my teenager trap card.
There's a moment you can tell. I mean, it's fiendish though it is. It like it stands up, move along, and then Ellie replies back, and then it's like, oh no, we're gonna double down. It's just, you'd better move before, and it menaces you, attempts to intimidate you, and all manner of things, but it never once even like twitches a muscle at you. But you hear them arguing. As it actually starts speaking and like yelling.
The moment that it like breaks from just like intensely staring and doing like a telepathic thing to Ellie, like, and starts actually talking, Icky like looks at Ninnis and is like, let's go. And like starts to go around the back of the hut.
Okay.
Very surreptitiously.
Is Gildan with y'all as well?
Gildan wants to make sure that Gildan distracts anyone that would be trying to spot our guys trying to get in.
Perfect for that job.
All right, so on lookout. All right, gotcha. And Bacroithic's like right behind Ellie, just, I hope you try something. But as this goes on, you guys are able to find a weak spot. These are shoddily made Wastelander buildings. And if you'd like, I mean, you can get in if you want.
Icky's a little big to get in. Like, honestly, Icky's like 350 pounds. That would be absurd. But Icky will like pull the board enough that probably Ninizen could slip inside and take Slip Slash with them.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm down.
All right. So Ninizen slips through the opening that Icky makes, and you're now in the hut, seeing what you saw earlier with your void stare. The trapdoor is open. It leads down. It is dark, though. There's no light down there.
I'm gonna just trying to be quiet. I'm gonna use message on what's the raptor's name?
Slip Slash.
Slip Slash.
Little velociraptor.
I'm just gonna be like, stay close, Slip Slash. Using the message spell.
Okay. I look at you quizzing.
Yeah, it's very well trained. So.
There's really, I mean, like, which way do you go?
And
I believe in you, Nin.
I'm gonna go down the trap.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down the trap door.
Mm-hmm.
Sneakily, but also moving quick.
Sure. You descend down a set of steps for some distance, enough that the light from whatever light that might have filtered in through the slats in the hut, it no longer assisting you at all. And you get down. You can tell you're sort of in the depths of this hill, and you enter into a cavernous space in which several shadowy, sort of frail, shadowy figures stalk about what looks to be a room full of wastelanders just sitting quietly, with their hands in their lap, not really doing anything at all. They're awake. They seem to be alert, but they're very quiet and not moving. And just beyond the range of where your dark vision is, you can see more of these things walking amongst them. They're of a shape and size similar to the skeletal figure outside. Tall, frail, menacing.
I could get in over my head pretty quick.
I'd do everything. Do it.
I'm going to hold my breath, which I can do for quite a long time,
Mm-hmm.
just to further give myself some silence. And I'm going to pad my way into the room, try to go from, like you said, there was like pillars and nooks and
Yeah,
crannies.
it's like a
right?
cavern, right? It's like a natural cavern. So there's all kinds
Oh,
of
okay.
calcite formations and things like that. Give me a stealth check, and we'll cut back to Mur real quick, as Mur is deep in the studying these scrolls.
Legalese. Yeah.
Mhm. There's most of this is ancient magic, and
Mhm.
according to Mahabrin, when they assaulted Jando's Rock the first time, there was one of the defenders had a powerful spell of some kind, something that opened a portal of some sort to a watery realm that extinguished the fire, which was going to burn away the goodness
Oh.
in the celestial. And
Portals
since
of
then,
some watery realm, you say?
it's some sort of fiendish water that they used against us. And he's really kind of complaining about it. He won't.
I just think of
he's really
Baloo,
bent
and I'm
out of
like,
shape.
only you know.
Well, you know.
I'm not telling Gildan this.
And
I'm sure
there's
Cindersoot will find out and open it up.
and in between gripes and complaints and grousing, this fire can't really be relit, so they're having to do this the old-fashioned way. And he explains to you, it's like, we're going to take the ones that don't accept our hospitality and
Of course.
engage in a bit of ritual sacrifice. It will be a lot of hard work. It takes a
lot of time, yes.
a lot of time, but the master will be present and
initiated the ritual.
Indeed, we need you to officiate. And he, through all of this, leads Mur into another. You're in another building somewhere, and leads you to an inner room where another one of these fiends, similarly squatty and grotesque, is flayed on the ground in a magic circle. And there are several like large roach-like creatures with these long proboscises that are working their delicate instruments on him as they like take him apart layer by layer. This one failed in his task. This pain is exquisite. You should taste when you can. And other than that,
so can I figure out who initiated the ritual initially? Because I doubt it was this celestial. If they were uncorrupted at the beginning, who was the devil or
this guy
that started it?
This
Was
one
it was
that's
this
being
guy?
played.
Gotcha. So he started it. Whose orders was he under when he began this?
The quartermaster,
Tell me.
looks at you.
It could be important to make for the sacrifice. I want to make sure nothing goes awry, since it was already interrupted once. We would hate for it to happen a second time.
He seems reluctant. Have her make me a persuasion.
Okay. That's a good roll too. All right, math. 31?
Yeah, he sort of looks at Mur and just you seem well. The master seems to trust you. We are here on. He looks around the Duke Phimius's orders to recruit a force that can shift the balance in his favor. And that leads quickly into a bunch of complaints about everything that's around here.
Okay.
And the longer you talk to him, the more he seems just to be a venal and thoroughly malicious kind of creature.
Gotcha.
Easily distracted by complaints and constantly doing something related to the whole running of this place. I mean, you can talk to this creature that's being flayed if you want.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, Mahabran is eager to get back to work.
Yeah. You said it was one of the enemies in the camp across the way who opened a portal to a watery realm that put out the fires?
Some sort of device.
Device.
It was never ending.
Interesting. Has the device been confiscated and disabled, or is it still in enemy hands?
No, you've learned at the time that all of you have spent here that this camp is constantly under attack, and that there's the war horns and sort of alarms are always going off, and it seems as though skirmishes with the people in Jando's Rock are common. You've heard several of them just sort of sitting inside here. Before we kind of close out for the session, is anyone wanting to do anything? Get something started? We've got Denizen down there. We'll probably see what you're up to before the end, and then Myrrh, you're getting instructed in how to.
Yeah, I'm studying this spell extensively and seeing if I could make any potential tweaks to it. She's figuring out what exactly shit it is she wants to do,
Okay.
and just learning what all she can about this.
Okay. Yeah, this is like old slow magic. Where if it's like a D&D spell is, it just like happens. This is something will take hours to finish. Once begun, will need a lot of time to work its magic. And so there's opportunities to change things if you'd like. Yeah. So how about Ellie and everybody else? Because Denizen's been gone for a while. This bone devil you're arguing with is happy to argue with you, but clearly is like, he's just like, oh, I wish I could rip your face off.
Why don't you?
That level of anger, and I can't stand the sight of you. You're just the hair and this thing. What is that? And he just is.
It's called a nose. Are you jealous?
It just sticks out, and I can't even stand it. Oh my god!
I can make you with.
You guys can hear him all over.
Yeah, I just argue with him as much as possible, but I try to be like really nice about it, like kill them with kindness kind of thing.
He hates that. If you don't curse or belittle him, if you don't
wholesome
talk down to him, he's like, he's just so mean.
First secret weapon against.
Right. They really seems to infuriate. Eventually, Begroitha gets into it. The two of you are mocking it as it can't. I can't do anything against you.
That streamer never had a proper teenagerhood.
No.
It's like, hey, old man.
And then I'm Gildan. Because you're on the lookout. People are watching them argue, but no one's coming over or anything.
Gildan's gone up to the large skeleton creature and is like, hello, new friendo. Would you like to see a miracle? And like, I'm really trying to like bedazzle it, and like I offered to read his palm, and I offered to like detect his alignment for him. So I'm a prophet. I know these things.
Lawful evil?
Yeah.
I know.
Shocker.
No, he just like, no, you can't. Don't take my alignment. He's like secretly neutral evil.
Hasn't told his parents yet.
Or he hasn't told his parents. It's like, gosh, I just don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a little chaos occasionally.
So Gildan joins Axtreamer and Ellie to sort of torment this bone devil while
I'm not tormenting. I've seen enough, and I just think, gather round, devils. It's time to perform miracles. And I think this would be a very interesting thing for the devils to witness. They with their special connection to the divine.
Mm-hmm. So you put on a puppet show for him?
I think we're gonna put on a puppet show, but I'm more interested in them as people. Like, so I'm gonna read their palms. I think this is a good opportunity to do augury spells and reveal wheel and woe. This is a good time to do divinations. I think these devils they're in the mood for a party.
If Gildan converts at least one devil to Gildanites, I'm going to do it. I love it.
We'll make I'll keep doing magic tricks if you make a pact with me and they start signing their souls over
Just
to
They
me.
start signing their souls over.
It was like, hey, what are you doing a year from now?
Right. Yeah, so a modest crowd is drawn together, mostly wastelanders, but there's a few of the smaller devil types, right? These little flying spined ones come over and are just sort of, they're a little more than dogs, right? Sort of like stand there looking amazed. I'm assuming Icky is still sort of on the lookout.
Yeah, Icky's like hanging out. Like the thing is like if it takes Ninizen more than 15 minutes, Icky's like, man,
How long are you down there, Ninizen?
hope he's not dead, I guess.
Rory's telepathic bond would have been really great. Just saying.
Don't get my Velociraptor killed.
So, Jim, do you want to know my role? Or
Yes.
Wait till next time.
No, I'll take it now.
I got an 18, which is not
Okay.
really great.
You seem to be avoided notice so far, although, like, the wastelanders that are down here have certainly seen you, like when you came down the stairs. They just didn't say anything at all.
That's cool.
But you are you're hidden amongst them. And as sundown approaches, a drum begins to beat near where the scaffolding has been set up and this celestial is chained. And as this rhythmic sort of music begins to strike up, and Murray, you would recognize it as the opening moments of this spell that's to begin. The fiends underneath the earth that are seemingly tormenting and guarding these figures begin to rouse them. And Ninizen, you can see that they begin to stand up in a very orderly and quiet fashion, and begin to arrange themselves in rows and the like to ascend the staircase. They seem to be doing it without really any communication or signaling or anything. And they all have that same sort of too scared to move sort of look on their face that they've had since you got down here. I think that's where we'll call off this week as you guys sort of figure out what's going on with these devils at Ghost Hill. Really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us as we play this game, explore the world and the characters and all that good stuff. Let's go around to our players, see how they're doing, what's up with them. There's something that's we do in Invisible Sun that I really like, and I wouldn't mind trying out. You guys, it's in the session with like a character recap, something that your character experienced in the session that might be significant or noteworthy. So if you want to share something like that, feel free. Otherwise, what are you up to? Where can we find you online? Josh, you want to start us off?
Jim, is this going to be one of those points where like in like a comedy, like Scooby-Doo, I have to put on like a brown robe and follow a crowd
and pretend to be a ritual sacrificial victim?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's up to you, man.
Okay. I'm doing good. You can find me on Twitter at Beer for Charity. I'm on Instagram too, probably at Beer for Charity. I don't know if Instagram works. Does it even work on desktop? Like,
yes, I have no idea. Does it?
Who
can look at people's profiles.
Yeah, you can't upload on desktop.
Yeah, see, that's weird. I don't like that. Anyway, I'm there. And I'm doing draw stuff, but my commissions are closed right now. Working through backlog. But yeah, find me online. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it right now.
Any thoughts on Ninizen after the end of the session? Or does Ninizen have any thoughts?
I'm still exploring Ninizen. He's a new addition to the group. I'm learning he's more of a troublemaker they're more of a troublemaker than I thought they would be. Which I really like. I like playing troublemakers. I think. I don't know why. It's almost as if I don't get to break the rules in real life.
That's interesting.
So I do it here. Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
That's me.
Thank you. Anna, where can we find you? And does Ellie have any thoughts or anything about the session?
I think Ellie is having a lot of fun kind of messing with these fiends or devils because she knows she can hang, you know, like, or at least she thinks she can hang in like a battle and like, you know, be kind of a savage as a barbarian, but that's also wholesome. So seeing especially the skeleton be really mad about something so simple, it's just like, yes, this is so entertaining. I'm gonna do this all day. So it's kind of like
she's learning how to be a troll.
Yeah, she's learning to bamboozle.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like where Ellie's been the last couple sessions. She's got an edge to her now.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
yeah, she's growing up slowly but surely, and you know, she's definitely learned a lot about the world and about people and non-people.
Excellent. Yes, fiends as well. Fiends are people too.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. But yeah, you guys can find me places like Twitch at Cyborg Pizza, Twitter, and Instagram, blinked out as Annaby Photo, and Patreon, I guess.
There you go.
Do stuff.
Excellent. TK, same deal. Where can we find you? And does Icky have any thoughts or reflections?
It's me. It's TK. Icky has been doing this thing lately where she's a little bit more selfish in the thing, in like the when she's allowed to be like unsupervised, she's kind of like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And so like she's kind of exercising that selfishness a little bit more, because like usually she's not like, oh, I want to check out the spooky hut. She just lets somebody else check out the spooky hut. But now she's kind of like, what if we check out the spooky hut together as a team? And she's kind of liking that. She's kind of liking like this teamwork thing. So she's like, oh, I get to be selfish, and we're like taking equal responsibility for our selfishness. Mer's gonna be super mad, but that's okay.
Mer will only be mad if you get caught.
Yeah.
Icky
has been exploring more of like that. I guess like a sort of humanity where like she is picking up these different emotions from people around her. And like as a lizard folk, like when we started this game, she was just like, we go into a town and she's like, no, I'm going to bury myself in the sand, and then you will not speak to me, and then we will leave. And that is what I want. But now she's kind of like, I want to go in these other people's houses. I want to see what that guy's doing. What's he doing? What's that? Let's touch this thing. So that's exciting to see about her. She was surprisingly relieved that Rix was not dead. So that's nice too. All right, spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, then you can find them tkjwrites.com. Or follow me on Twitter, TK Joins the Fray. On my pinned tweet, I have this big like schedule of all these games that I play in. It is changing probably next Wednesday because I can't be trusted. But if you like seeing me in games, then you can see me as a Mott Vol, Ensign Mott Vol tomorrow on Scraticus Academy playing the Star Treks. Or you can see me hanging out in Ravenloft with a bunch of cool people on the Wizards Twitch channel. And we're going to do some combat tomorrow. Yay. So I'm very excited about that. I already told them, I was like, I hope you know everything, like all your spells, familiarize yourselves with them, your actions, your feats, your inventories, because you're about to get wrecked.
Nice.
That's it. Buy my book.
Good. Very good. Thank you. Lindy, how are you? And anything Mer's got on her mind?
I'm doing good. Mer, her mind is going 100 miles an hour right now, and how she can get the upper hand out of all of this, because there's two people who want her to do things, and she's like, how can I please them both until I can be in a position of power above both of them? So I'm going to be messaging you throughout the week as she is studying the spell in detail, and maybe some shenanigans I want to pull during all of it.
Oh yeah,
some stuff. See what's up.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's
It's a
very
very
crafty
delicate,
right
complex thing, you know.
now. And Mer loves the legalese. The wastelands are so chaotic a lot of the times that she gets homesick a lot. So when she has moments like these, she's just like, order. It's so nice.
Fill things out in triplicate.
I know. Initial date sign. She gets her inner lawyer comes out. She just loves it. But yeah, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on the Twitches, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I play in/DM about a dozen tabletop RPGs throughout the week. You can just look on Twitter. I'll either retweet or make a tweet about whenever I'm going live where. But definitely on Saturday morning, you should check out my channel from 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern for Teenagers from Outer Space, our prom episode. It's our 3rd episode, and we're going to have prom, and it's going to be super fucking dope. So you should check it out. It's going to be shenanigans. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to plug right now. That's it.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you very much, Lindy. And Grant, same deal.
All right. Well, Gildan's an uncle, and he's introduced a child into this world for Ellie to take care of. And I think he's realizing that his finer qualities, as I like to call them, being a nuisance, gift of gab, drawing attention, may be useful with all these devils, but I'm worried he might exit the camp owing like 9 different devils, like 10 different life debts, and some of them aren't even his own. But yeah, if you're interested in what I'm up to, follow me on Twitter at WisePuppetGrant. I'm also in a lot of different games throughout the week. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games with 6 different titles that are being published this year for, I think, 4 different game systems. So I'm working on diversifying across the board. Likewise, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/GrantREllis, that I use to support my Twitch streams. I'm a producer here on WebDM Twitch, and make sure, and seriously, thank you for all the subs tonight. I think I counted like 15 total over the night. Yeah, there was a lot that we were gifted as well. It was pretty awesome.
That's really cool. So I didn't get a chance to see. Didn't have the chat window open, but I really appreciate that, guys, and thank you, Grant. Yeah, any support for any of our folks in here is much appreciated, and of course, just hanging out and keeping everybody company while we play this game is also fun. Otherwise, I don't know, guys.
Girls. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
check out the Lost Girls on Sunday.
That's right.
Afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. Frost from Fire is going to be the DM. It's an all-lady vampire campaign running the Cypher system, and I'm going to be in that too. So there's awesome stuff this week, and you should check it out.
It out, definitely. So yeah, sounds like it's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be really packed. So I hope everybody out there has a great weekend, and otherwise we will see y'all Sunday for Lost Girls. And yeah, later on, guys.